This is a
Hello, everyone. I feel like I want to do this because I feel like, is it too close?
I don't
Is it
know.
too close?
The chat.
I kind of am digging this. Also, like your tan lines look.
I know. We
amazing.
Finally have some sun, and I'm getting tan again. So
I know. I'm gonna look white next to you.
I look red. I guess I am a little red, but so excited.
It's okay. I feel like you're just usually you have a red undertone to your skin, so you're always gonna look a little red to me.
Yeah, I always have a little bit of a. It's a weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
Wow, Tugs is too blurry for this.
That's what I was worried about. That's what I was worried about.
Okay.
Let me see.
Okay, we'll go back to this. We'll go back to this.
My bad. Listen. This is a perfect time for me to talk about it. I'm crowdfunding a new PC, you guys. So it's on my Throne wish list so that I can be in high definition like everybody else. Although I don't know if you guys want that, but we're working towards it. So if you would like to help out, one of the mods could drop the link. It's on my link tree if you guys want to go find it. But I am crowdfunding a new PC finally after 45 years.
Yay! Fealty, you have olive undertones because you're Italian. Tugs has red undertones. You know that maybe, well, actually, not all Italians have olive undertones, do they?
Most of us do.
Most do.
I would tell you what, though, you know what's weird is I do have olive undertones to my skin, except in certain lighting, which is weird. But like gold looks terrible on me.
Oh, but gold looks so good on me.
I know. Yeah, gold. It's weird. I look red now, but I promise you I'm not actually. Like maybe here is usually I usually burn here, but the rest of me I promise you is not. And I do have olive. It's weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm a pink olive. I don't know.
It's all good. You're a mix, you know. Mark is full Italian, and I think Fealty's full Italian.
Yeah,
you might have to tell me. But yeah,
Italian and Portuguese. So we're really
maybe Portuguese that's giving you all the red coloring. So this episode is going to be girl catty fight. Rawr, 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 rawr. Oh my God. I can't believe people are fighting this heavy, but at the same time, it doesn't surprise me. Okay. So this week we had Tim Cast or Tim Pool. It wasn't Tim Cast. It was on Tenet Media. There was a debate about trad lives and just like relationships. And it got a little heated.
It was a lot. It was just a lot.
There was Pearl, Lauren, Andrew, what's her name? Andrew's wife. Andrew's
wife. Oh, Rachel.
Rachel.
Whose last name I can never remember, but I just remember Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel. And then another girl. She's really pretty. That was there as well. But I would say, that Pearl probably was one that talked the most. Then Tim, Lauren, Rachel, then sorry, lady who I forgot your name because you honestly didn't speak that much. But
I do. Yeah, she was so cute and she had good thoughts. Although I do feel like every time she had those thoughts counteracted, she backed down a little.
Yeah, and Isabella, thank you. She's really cute. Maybe I'll give her a follow because I do think that she probably has some good content. I would be very similar to how Lauren and Isabella were during the debate. Like I'm not someone who's going to force a conversation. And I do think that Tim and Pearl really dominated that conversation.
Yes, I would agree. Lauren tried.
She did. And Pearl, she's just, I think she tends to just be louder or more confident, maybe. I don't know what the word would be, but something in that realm. So that she can get her point across. So, yeah. I'm not that type all the time, especially if there's someone who's more alpha than me in the room.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
Yeah, and
I am
Pearl,
definitely not the alpha girl, that's for sure.
yeah, Pearl gives off a very alpha vibe. I wouldn't even call it aggressive because she wasn't being aggressive. She just kept talking over people.
Assertive. Somebody said assertive.
Assertive, yes.
Word. Yeah.
Assertive is the word for it.
Masculine is also a good way. It is a very masculine sort of way of speaking, for sure. Especially in a debate when you're just like,
yeah.
And I do think, but you guys know what I mean.
I think in a debate like that, I would have wanted him to moderate it a bit more than he did, just to give time for other people to speak. I would have loved to hear more from Isabella. And at the times that Pearl was talking over some other people, it's like, okay, let her finish speaking first before you bring your next point, just to give their space and time. Okay, fine, it's aggressive. Okay,
especially because the video he did afterwards about the battle between Lauren and Pearl on Twitter, he was so talkative. I watched Pearl's live stream about all of it, and she went over his video. I don't know. There's so much that happened these last 3 days that I can't keep track of it all. But Tim's video that he did about her and Lauren on Twitter, going back and forth, Pearl and Lauren going on Twitter back and forth, he was doing nothing but yapping.
No, I do think Tim does talk a lot. I've heard. Can you hear that?
What was that?
It's rain. Okay, if I go on a call, at least you have power. But I apologize if I drop out. Oh my God, what the heck is happening?
Finally, it's not me with the rain hitting the trail. Yay! Usually I'm live streaming and the chat's like, is somebody trying to break into your home? What is going on?
God. I think it's just hitting right in the window. So I apologize to anyone listening to this. I have no control over the weather, unfortunately. So
it's not me this time.
What were your overall thoughts about the debate, the content of it, not the actual persons of the debate? Did you think it was good, constructive, not constructive, good points, not good points, and whatnot?
I thought it went very well, and it was actually a lot more civilized than I thought it was going to be. I figured there was going to be yelling. I'm used to watching Pearl's live streams where she's got all these girls on and they're just like constantly screaming over each other. So that was nice. However, I did think that it took a very unnecessary turn when they brought up Bernadine Buntley, and all of them proceeded to make fun of her.
Oh, the cake girl? Oh, wait, no,
not the cake girl. Bernadine Buntley.
The one when she was doing the I deem or whatever, like inappropriate or not. 35-year-olds are hotter than 25-year-olds tweet.
Yeah, so they brought up Bernadine, and she posted about her weight loss recently. She just had a baby not long ago. God, it's been maybe 6 months. It's not been very long. She's pregnant again now, but in between that time, she was posting about her weight loss journey on Twitter and was like, I am still overweight, but I'm trying this and that and the other, blah, blah. And Pearl at the time, like, quote tweeted her and was like, oh my God, nobody cares. Like, wah, 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 wah.
Like that kind of that. Okay, I remember.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So in this live stream, they brought her up out of nowhere. Like, it just seemed to take a really weird turn. And all of them, I'm throwing everybody on the bus on this one, were making fun of her. Lauren did. Lauren was the least. Yeah, she didn't. She held her ground a little bit, but everybody else was making fun of her for posting it. It was like, I don't see why you have to do that. It was just very out of left field and had nothing to do with what they were talking about. It came out of nowhere. So I thought that was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Why?
And
why
I think
bring her up?
Popping out multiple children, your body is not gonna look skinny.
Yeah. Well, Pearl's thing too was, that's not appropriate. Why are you posting it on the internet? You should only be talking to your husband about that, blah, blah, blah. And Lauren was kind of like, I mean, I don't really get the attention part of it. She goes, but I don't see anything wrong with it. She wasn't posting herself in super tight clothing. She was just wearing a t-shirt. It really wasn't that big of a deal. She's trying to encourage others to stay healthy and fit. Like, I think that's great. And I'm like, what does this have to do with anything? You guys were talking about this certain thing over here. And then we took a hard, I'm
But
like,
that's what
tire
means-
squealing.
Sometimes
this way.
that's what happens with females is that, and I'm trying not to do this where I don't want to make fun of women or men looks, because it is picking low fruit from the tree.
Mm.
And I don't think that necessarily brings across a good message. And hey, Bernadine, don't know your content, but from what I heard in the debate, sounds nice. I think that if it helps inspire one person, then that's all you need.
Yeah, especially with how many kids that they have. She's pregnant now with their 6th, which is a lot. It's like a little tiny army. Kudos to her. It's and like Elizabeth says here, it's ironic that they make fun of her when she's the pinnacle of what they're claiming to aspire to. Yeah, she's the pinnacle, married super young, been married to the same man for forever. She stays at home with the babies. They have so many like everything that these guys talk about is what Bernadine does. And she tries to teach other women how to do it. She has like online classes you can pay for, and whether you agree with that or not, it's whatever. But she also talks about it, you know, just in her normal posts and reels that she makes. Is not all charging stuff. You know what I mean? Charging money. I mean, you can if you want to, but I just is like, it just came out. That was the part of the stream that really irked me. Was this came out of nowhere, and you're making fun of the way she looks still. Like Pro was like, she's still fat. Like 5 babies, 5 of them. 6 now. We know now. We didn't at the time, but now we know there's also a 6th one in there. Like what?
Yeah.
Why? It just came out of left field like that.
Well, okay. So Darian's trying to put some context, and they were talking about sympathy farming. Okay. I guess so.
Yeah. Sure.
And I will go with what, just kind of building on what Lauren said, that her platform is to inspire women who might be going through those struggles. So at the same time, to not degrade 35-year-old women who are in her situation, maybe in particular, like married, multiple kids, and having a hard time keeping the baby weight off just because you're expanding, contracting so quickly. So I don't know. I like to think that I'll give a woman grace at least for the first year to 2 years for their body when they're breastfeeding, just giving birth, you know, that sort of thing. I'm not going to call a pregnant woman fat. I think that's a little, a lot degrading, actually.
It's one of those things where I just was like, I mean, we all know the girls. We see Joey Swole post about the girls that are in the gym talking about this, that, and the other for their engagement farming and all that. Okay, we know those girls, but I don't see anything wrong with anybody posting an achievement that's like, hey, I did this. It sucked. I pushed through. This is what I did. And maybe that helps somebody else go, oh, wait a minute. I can do that too.
There's something about posting stuff like that, because that also gives accountability. And some people find that inspiring. So take it as you will. You don't have to like what she does. So I guess they don't.
Yeah. But other than that, the debate itself was great. Like, it was super civilized, I think.
I just think Pearl did overtalk when she asked a question to Lauren, something. Lauren starts talking, and then she's like, no. And I'm like, she's trying to answer. 1 second.
Let her answer.
Let her answer. And then,
And this goes for anybody. Let them answer.
Just yes. And I do think that they all brought up really good points. I think that highlighting how society has changed is good, because awareness is the first thing. It's like how in pop culture, I was not aware of woke stuff. I just didn't like some movies, the newer ones in 2018, 2019. And then once I was aware, then I was like, okay, now I'm spotting it. I'm noticing it. And then the one thing that I, with Pearl, and I know she's super careful about this, is she will point out all the things that are wrong in the Stat Society interviews that she's done. And when Tim asked her, so what would you do about it? Are you telling guys what to do? And she's like, no, I'm just reporting on it. And I'm like, and he asks this one question, but reporting on it makes it seem like you're telling them not to do the marriage thing.
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm actually going to go with, that was a really good question, Tim.
That's a good point too, because I mean, if you're talking about this thing over and over and over again, it's not like that they ever counteract that with, okay, but here are the statistics of this. If you do this, or if you're in this situation, this is where it works out. Whatever. They don't ever talk about, and I say they as a collective in this whole movement at this point, they don't ever talk about the good. They only talk about the bad. Like, you have to have balance. We talk about this with the news media. We talk about this with the podcasts you listen to. If you're only listening to end of the world shenanigans and negative stuff about how men are terrible or women are terrible and what's the point and why are we all here and why am I breathing? Life is just so dull. And blah, 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 you are going to just fall off a cliff. Like, you're going to lose your mind and you're never going to see the good in anything ever. And they don't nobody counteracts anything good with this statistics. Like, okay, yes, this may happen over here, ABC, but in counterintuitively, that's the word, ABC happens if you follow this path or if you do these steps, or if, I don't know. It just is, it's all negative all the time. It's so exhausting.
And I'm not, I know we've talked a lot about this, the TradCon Christian women, and Pearl has a, I forgot the types of TradCons, but the TradCons that are at least on social media, she has pointed out are more feminist than they are traditional. Now, all the women pretty much have admitted they're not all super traditional women.
That was so I watched her live stream that she did by herself talking about everything yesterday. I think it was yesterday, the day before, what day it was that she did it on her channel. And she's brought that up and she brings these examples of these women, Candace Owens, Lauren Shen, Lauren Southern, Rachel even, which I thought was interesting. That
Rachel self-admitted she's not traditional though.
Right. She didn't call Rachel out on the fact that she's got 3 kids with multiple dads. They brought that up in the debate, and I expected Pearl to be like, well, yeah, but you have multiple. She didn't, which I thought was interesting. But anyway, Rachel, I think, is the only one, like you said, that has actually come out and be like, oh yeah, I'm traditional. And nobody else has ever come out and said that. They've been labeled that, but I've not seen one of them come out and say that and be like, yeah, I'm traditional. This is me. Yeah, I don't know where she's getting that from with these examples, to be honest.
Not sure. I would say Candace Owens to a point could be more traditional conservative, but then she also works on a huge platform as well. Like, she works a lot. So anyone in this space, I don't think anyone's really actually TradCon. Although Isabella, that was actually interesting. She did say she deactivated all her social media and she is waiting for her husband to give her the okay.
Oh, yeah, because she had a video, which I wish now I could find out what video that was. Maybe somebody in the chat knows. She was like, well, I'm not on any social media platform or anything like that right now, at the end when they were doing like their final thoughts, because I had a video that went way too viral. So I deactivated everything. And she goes, I'm waiting for my husband to tell me it's okay.
And then I was like,
turn everything back on. I was like,
okay.
And she said that they were married. I think that was her that said it. That they were married in the church, not legally, right? That was her that said that?
I think so. Pretty
sure that was her.
So
that was kind of cool. I was like, oh, dang. Shout out to Isabella. I wish she had talked more.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I wish we heard more from her, because unfortunately we did not. Because there were some very loud voices there. There was a couple more things. Oh, the Nala stuff.
Oh, yes.
So I'm not Christian either on this. We did have a whole stream about it. So I'll just do the quick, notes about it. Nala, OF girl, turned Christian or born again Christian. She has finally deactivated her OF.
Did it get deactivated finally?
I don't know. At least on the stream, they were saying that maybe.
Yeah. I think Lauren asked that question and nobody had an answer to it, but Pearl said that she raised her fees.
Which, but if you put it astronomically large, it would deter people from signing up.
Right, which was the reason why she said she did it. But I honestly don't know anything. I didn't get a chance to look into what that fee raising was or anything like that. So I think the claim was that I'm raising my prices so that more people are not
gonna sign up.
More people won't sign up because it's too expensive, but I don't know how much she raised them. And Pearl was like, I don't think that that's true. This and that.
She also has Telegram, and I'm like, still don't believe Telegram's real, but and the images that we saw looked sus, looked a little sus. Anyways, Lauren was arguing that we should give her a slight benefit of the doubt and not trash her completely or at all until she proves otherwise. I'm paraphrasing, of course. And then all the other girls basically, it felt like they don't believe her and are dunking on her already. And still calling her a whore.
Been from the beginning, for sure.
Which
they have been.
I would like to think it's like, I'm going to go on a diet. Okay, I'm going to be encouraging. No, someone's going to go and call me fat. You're so fat. You're still fat. Blah, blah, blah.
You'll never do it. You'll never do that.
You're still always fat. So that's how I'm thinking about it. They did bring the whole pedalwood thought into it. You wouldn't bring that type of person around kids, like a reformed person. But you would bring a person like Nala around your married man. I think it's two different situations. Okay. Yeah. And Nala doesn't hit on every guy.
Yeah. Well, I would hope not. I don't know her personally, but I would assume not. But what do I know?
So, I don't know. We both really kind of said, let's see what happens. Hopefully she actually means it. And I think that's how Lauren felt too. And I think that's is that how people in the church of where she got baptized, I forgot where, should approach it? I don't know. You would know better because you do know more about religion than I do.
No. Nope. That's not how it is approached. I don't think that's how it should be approached. If a person wants to make a change and they come to you, whatever you are, if you have somebody that is like a friend that's an addict, this and that and the other, being crazy on videos or whatever, and they just have hit rock bottom and you're like, oh my gosh, like you need to change your behavior, whatever that behavior may be. And then one day they show up at your door, a friend's or somebody that they're comfortable with going to and being like, I want to change. And you go, nope, don't believe you. What's that going to do?
Yeah.
Send them off the deep end even more. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So no, the church especially, at least that's what they're supposed to do anyway. No, your doors are open.
Yeah.
Your doors are open. So if she is truly genuine, it doesn't matter. Everybody in church has sins and pasts that we probably don't want out and about. You go and you poll everybody at church, you're going to find a very big, giant group of people that are going to be like,
yeah. Trust me, Darian. I would totally let Mark hang out with Nala.
Oh, yeah.
If we're in a group setting, why not? Like Mark hangs out with so many different people. He disappears at parties. I have trust in him.
Oh my God. There was one time I found him when the last meet was one of the Vegas meetups. It had to have been. And he was just gone. And we found him outside hours later with a whole group of people around. Like, oh, thank God.
There he is. Because I actually was worried at one point. Because I'm like, oh my God, I hope he's okay.
No. This place isn't very big. Where did he go?
Yep. Me thinking he'd be inside. But anyways.
Oh we have to get a tracker for that one.
Sorry.
What happened?
That was an ant. Oh, it's a tornado.
Okay,
I don't need rain. Yeah, we do. We're in Tornado Alley. That's why.
Oh, heck.
I thought it was an Amber Alert. I'm so sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
Sorry, chat.
Okay.
So back to this. Darian said, even though she said she liked to get husbands to cheat on their wives, that was in the past. If she truly feels that she has changed and wants to work towards change, then she needs to prove it. I'll let Mark hang around her. I'm not going to be offended. Hearing something like that from the past. If she said it now, that's just proving to me that she hasn't changed.
Right. Yep.
So that's how I'm looking at it. I'm I'm not bothered that maybe it's a grift, but I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. You know, action speaks louder than words.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about that.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
I give her the benefit of the doubt.
But it was very interesting seeing that, because then Pearl then went to talk about how Steven Crowder wasn't given the benefit of the doubt compared to Nala.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I do have a clip here if we want to actually see it. And I don't know if they'll hit us, but it's on Twitter, okay?
I don't think so. It should be okay.
She raised her OnlyFans prices after this is confirmed. She raised her OnlyFans prices after she was saved.
Right.
I think anything from that, she's full of shit.
Yeah. So I'm not here to, I support you trying to keep her accountable. I don't think that's a bad thing.
Then why did I get a 30-minute video on me?
Well,
I don't know. It's 20 minutes.
It wasn't 30 minutes just on you. I was going through a bunch of tweets.
Classic woman exaggerating the number.
But the idea
Sorry, I'm
is,
still a woman.
Yeah. What can you do?
Do you think it is possible for Christ to save someone like Nala?
It's possible, but I need some evidence. I need some evidence that you've done something before we put her on a show and say this woman is saved, because it's going to deter people from Christianity in the long term. If men, see they're putting OnlyFans whores as preachers in churches now. Sorry, I don't know if that's going to affect YouTube, but and so I think when someone's clearly full of shit, we got to call them out on it.
Do you not see that there could be kind of a middle ground where we say, hey, it is amazing you've come to Christ. Let us encourage you in your walk with a new Christian, while also like simultaneously not saying, hey, let's make this person our preacher.
Would you let a reformed pedophile buy kids in church? They said sorry. Would you let them buy the kids?
Buy the kids?
Mm-hmm, buy the kids. Would you let them in the church freely?
I just thought.
I love how Lauren's like, wait, you want him to buy my children?
Sorry.
It took me a minute too. I was like, what is she asking? What's going on in the church right now?
Around the kids. Sorry. Can we just go back to Lauren's face?
Her face, she's like, buy the kids.
No one, anyone, doesn't matter if they're
no one wants that.
They can't buy my kids.
Nobody's buying the kids. Won't somebody think of the children?
Anyway, sorry. It was nice to have a laugh, because this is
it took me a minute too. I was like, ha.
And this is how I say this. Whores are not betas, so it's hard to make that comparison. It's the same thing as
you know how Pearl always gets mad at her guests when they bring up like the extreme example, right? Like divorce should not be an option, right?
Exception, not the rule.
Yeah, right. The divorce should not be an option. You should think of your children. And the girls are always like, well, what if he's a serial killer and he's coming at you with a knife and blah blah blah? Can I divorce him then? And you're like, that's the most extreme example possible. Can you calm down? She's doing it here. Would you let pedos near your kids at church? Like, what does that have to do with OnlyFans? I'm so confused.
Like, I guess if you want to, and I'm playing devil's advocate, if you want to just take that line that Nala said about, I like making husbands cheat on their wives. Kind of, maybe.
Have to do
the same. I don't think it's the same, but it's as close as we're going to get.
There's no crossing straight. Like, Pearl went out of left field to find this. Like, what? What does that have to do with everything?
But
anything?
Anyways, so that was basically that part. I don't remember if Steven Crowder gets brought up. The
OnlyFans, 4 months, 5 months is what you should make sure that all your shit's at least down before you.
If Bill Maher
you make a video defending an OnlyFans chick, but Crowder couldn't get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
I know. I've known Crowder for a long time. Like that's a different issue.
But
I don't know.
But we all know what she did on the internet. She was getting tag teamed by 2 dudes
and
8 months ago.
I think you should use her. I think the idea that whether or not she's truly reformed is immaterial to the fact that she's become a propaganda tool for virtue.
Tim is right. People have used her in that sense.
Oh, that's true. And I don't.
So
Excuse me, I don't agree with that either.
Yeah. I do agree. Yes, Darian, I see you. Steven Crowder did not get any benefit. But hear me out. An out of context video where he's yelling at his pregnant wife. Do you see that as being a bad thing or a good thing?
Well, out of context is never a good thing, but at the time when you're presented with the actual evidence that you have before you, I mean, that's the evidence that everybody had at the time, including the police officers and the divorce lawyers and whoever else was getting involved at that moment. Yeah, it's bad. And I don't care what anybody's on that panel says, because they go into how emotional abuse is not real. Emotional abuse is very, very, very real. And whether he did it to her and she did it to him, whether it's back and forth, whether it's both of them, I don't know him personally. We all went off the video that we saw. Has things changed since then? Yes. There's a debate on whether or not she deleted the footage. Apparently, according to this,
She deleted all the footage.
well, according to Lauren, though, I think it was Lauren that said that they have not confirmed that it was her. Surprise! They haven't confirmed that she did that or did not do it. Like, even the lawyers are trying to figure that out still. So we don't know what happened. It's wild. It's all bonkers. But at the time, yeah, it was out of context. We didn't know that it was out of context at the time. We thought it was the clip.
And I believe, please tell me if we are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We commented just on what the video said. I know nothing about Crowder. Good job for you having a big channel. That's all I know.
Well, here's the thing.
I don't watch your content.
Here's the other thing, too, that I think people forget about Crowder and why most people did not give him any benefit and were like, yeah, that sounds about right, is because people who know him know that he's not a very nice person. Lauren Chen even talks about it. She's like, he has burned many bridges. He is not good. He's just, she can't talk about it much because they all have NDAs, but she knows him very well. And she's not the first person. And I'm not talking about that guy that's like, I'm an NDA. Blah, blah. I'm not talking about that guy. I'm talking about other people that he's worked with in the past. He's not what we saw.
I guess
on
reputation.
That video, yes. What we saw in that video, people were not surprised by it. They were like, yeah, that sounds about right. That's how he talks to people. He's a jerk. So that's your context. Your context is, I know this jerk is a B, C, D, because I know him personally. So this video of him berating his pregnant wife, saying he doesn't love her anymore, etc. Yeah, that sounds about right. You should see what he does to the new kid, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So that's the context.
I honestly, like, even if, like, I've gotten in fights, of course, with Mark. Won't be public about what we fight about. But something I'm super careful about in fights is never to get so emotional you say mean things to people.
Oh, yeah. But some people can't
to
do
Mark
that.
specifically.
So,
and I've had fights with people before where they do say the mean things and then they say, I'm sorry, but if it's a continual cycle, don't know if that's like that with them because we only have one video. But if it is a continual cycle, I would think that's a bit abusive. And I know they say emotional abuse doesn't exist, but you can hold something over someone forever and ever and ever. If you tell, it's like women who then, when they say, oh, you know, you left that dish towel out. Remember the time that you looked at another girl?
Yeah, that's emotional abuse.
Do you count that as emotional abuse? Because I do.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be both.
The manipulation that you can do when you are, for people who have never been in that situation, like, kudos. Honestly, you should thank your lucky stars and thank whatever deity you pray to that you never had to go through it. But the emotional, I would rather you hit me. I honestly would. Because then at least it makes sense. Having your mind manipulated, having lies told to you, having somebody call you out of the blue and being like, how dare you be on a conversation that never happened, or telling somebody, hey, that already happened, or this is how it happened, and they go, no, it didn't, you're crazy, blah, 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 this and that. That is a real thing. And if you don't think that that's a real thing, then that means you've never experienced it. And I'm very happy for you, honestly. So kudos. But yeah, Crowder's was not taken with the benefit of the doubt because people who knew him went, that makes sense. That's kind of like, I don't know.
How many people,
like a bad person,
how many people went to white knight him out of all his friends? Tell me.
None. Not a single person.
Like, I'll say, okay, maybe not a huge fan of Lauren, some of y'all in the chat, but you know, she made videos based on the information out. Okay. And maybe I've had conversations about people. I try not to. And maybe I know things. I don't know. But I always still give people the benefit of the doubt, even though maybe I've heard something. Maybe they went a little crazy one night, drank too much. And then that was just one instance. Never met Crowder. He doesn't bother me. The video bothers me a little bit, but he doesn't bother me. I'm a commentator on relationships. Of course I'm going to commentate on that.
Yeah.
So.
And it's not a leap for people who either know him personally or know, like, if you know about his consistent, like, whatever behavior you want to call it. He gets ragey, whatever you want to call it, whatever his behavior is, you know about it just simply by watching his show for as long as he's been on the air. He loses it. He's not, people can be jerks and people can be dicks and people can be all that. He's had consistent nasty behavior for years. So no, it's not something that is out of the blue. We're not giving him the benefit of the doubt because, well, he's a man and you don't want to give it. No, it's because it's a past behavior. It's like when R. Kelly finally got arrested, everybody went, yeah, that makes sense. Nobody gave R. Kelly the benefit of the doubt, did you? No, because that made sense. Yep. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
When the football player for the Patriots was arrested for unaliving his girlfriend's whatever, that made sense. Yeah. Nobody gave him the benefit of the doubt. Well, what if he didn't do it? We all know he did it.
I'm gonna put this out there for you guys. The person is not quarter black carrot, okay?
No, God, no.
I
honestly can't think of anybody just off the top of my head, and I'm probably wrong. I'm sure there are people out there. Somebody somewhere was like, well, why are you guys blaming him? And then everybody was like, well, yeah, why are we blaming him? But immediately afterwards, I did not see one person be like, oh, no, I know him. He's a really great guy. Like, he would never do this. Yeah, is it? You know what I mean? That's just personal. Yep. Michael Vick, yeah. We know. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Let's take a mini break and get to some of these soups. GJJ, thank you for being a member for 7 months. We love our lushes in the chat. And Psychotic Manga says gifted 5 Poor Choices membership.
Did he give himself one this time? I saw people thanking him in the chat, but I don't know if he gave himself one.
Cajun Corey for 5 says, how do you what does this have to do with the show? But I love it. How do you have a party in space? You plan it.
Yay, Corey and the dad jokes. I love it.
Wait, where is this? I need this. I needed it. Titty Twister for $1.99. Ladies, show us your dairy cannons. They are being shown right now, just not the full thing. TOS, okay, guys? TOS.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Otherwise, we maybe.
You won't see mine. They're little.
I was kidding.
No, I'm gonna glide off at this point. Is that better?
Just use your imagination.
Is this better for everybody? Would you rather me not have my light on? That's fine. I get it. It's okay.
You look less red with this lighting.
I swear to you, I'm not burnt. This may be a little. This was probably red. The rest of me is not red. I promise. See, I don't know why that light does that. It's so annoying. Okay, anyway, I need a better light.
We got Nick the Greek for $1.99. Extra Girl and I are Tornado Alley twins. Yay! You must be in the New York area.
Tornadoes terrify me.
They scared me. Last year, 2 years ago, in the major city that's kind of like, it's half an hour away. I think like 8 houses, the roof was torn off of their houses. Yeah.
Oh my God.
In the neighborhood. No, I can't imagine imagine if we just sat here all of a sudden like I'd be like, okay, I'm ending this 3 bye.
The last storm we had a few days ago, Houston got the worst of it. And Houston got a 10-minute, just like the alert you got, a 10-minute storm warning. Not for a tornado, just a severe thunderstorm, winds up to 70 miles an hour, like hail, get inside, it's coming kind of thing. And 5 minutes later, the tornado hit. And nobody saw the tornado coming because it was covered by the rain. It was a rain tornado, which I just learned was a thing. I'm like, absolutely.
In our area, for the most part, it's usually coincided with a lot of rain, which is why we heard that like crazy pelting. I kind of wish I took a look at the window now, but There
You're
was
still sitting
one
here, so-
day, I remember this was back when I took the subway. The rain literally was horizontal. Like there was no hiding from it.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
And I
Yeah,
was
I don't-
soaking wet.
I don't like them. I think what I don't like about tornadoes is not only are they just terrifying, but you never know when they're coming. Like it's very rare that you can catch one and be like, hey, by the way, this is going to hit at this approximate time, like, or this exact time. Whereas
Mhm.
pretty much every other storm, you know, hey, the hurricane's going to be here in 3 days, you know, get your floaties. Okay. And then 3 days later, the hurricane shows up. Tornadoes are like, gosh, you know, it's 12:01 a.m. Let's have a party. And they appear out of nowhere and you don't see
At
them coming because it's
12:03.
dark outside. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah,
I can't.
yeah.
It creep me out.
So, Nick
Can't
the
do it.
Greek for $4.99 says, Tugs, I love the
Thank
tan
you.
lines. X-ray the choker looks good. Thank you. This is a
Now that I
Christmas
don't look
choker.
red.
I love this. I
What is
love
it?
It's like a bell. Can you hear it?
Oh yeah. Oh, how cute.
Yeah. So I feel like a cow or something. No, they have their little bells.
Does Mark ring it when he wants attention?
I cannot comment. Darian Murphy for $9.99 says, but Pearl knew not to trust Crowder's wife, and she was right because Crowder's wife in court admitted that Steve was not abusive. So did the nannies, both in court. I guess.
And that's fine.
Was it physical abuse? I remember them
Yeah,
talking
nobody
about it.
Specify that. Does the court ask if he was abusive as in the physical sense?
No, I'm just clarifying.
was
I'm not doubting you. I'm
Yeah, I
clarifying.
honestly want to know. I don't know. But yeah,
'Cause, yeah.
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Because they did say that in the stream, but I don't remember if they specified if it was
They didn't
physical or
specify,
whatever
'cause
else.
I was waiting. I was waiting
So-
because I didn't know that information. I was like, ooh, this is new. This is new.
Yeah.
This is new.
Yeah. So
This is new
I'll
information.
I'll
I
await
don't know.
Tugs if you can watch the chat. Oh, not physical, emotional. So
Emotional
wait.
damage.
just to clarify, CJ, you're meaning that they admitted that he did not emotionally abuse her, or Steven didn't emotionally abuse her. I want to get my facts straight before I assume things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I'll probably fact check this afterwards, but I'm going off what y'all are saying in the chat.
I know it's really weird that this. I mean, I guess but it probably just depends on
The video's available. That doesn't give me the answer, Darian. I want to know now. I know you know the answer.
Let's see.
Oh gosh. In the meantime, Psychotic Mongoose, thank you for the 5 British pounds. Says I didn't gift myself this time, but I did on Zia's stream last night. Thank you, Psychotic, for the super chat. Thank you.
2023. I'm searching over here.
Oh, he was accused of emotional abuse. Okay. I have no idea if he was found guilty or not, though. I just know it wasn't physical abuse. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So we still don't know the answer. Cool. We'll find out eventually. Got to do more research. But I guess in the end, like, we saw what we saw. If you guys want to go watch the entire video, that is on Tenet Media on YouTube. The video is from 5 to 6 days ago. So I highly recommend watching it because it is quite interesting, the conversation.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's all I have to say. I do think that in the perception of, I did read some comments and I read the chat while it was going. Pearl seemed to have won the debate, but I do think Pearl did steamroll the debate a bit. And I wish we heard more from some of the quieter people. But that's just me. Or it wasn't even a debate. It was a conversation. So
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, and it was a lot more tamer than I thought it was going to be. To be honest, I figured there would be all kinds of blow-ups, as it were.
Yeah,
I can't find anything about this.
I think because it's not Pearl's show that maybe she didn't get as worked up as she usually does, or maybe it's like UK ladies are crazy in comparison to at least the women in this YouTube space. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Who freaking knows?
I don't know.
So
Pearl
yeah.
knows her script well, and that's fair.
I do think
She does always bring up the same points. Yeah, the same points all the time. She's in trouble when the stats change.
Well, they are always forever changing every year.
65% of statistics are all made up, but tomorrow it'll be 70%.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now to, I think what well, actually, there's a, should we go talk about this now? I don't know. I just have one more. I have one more video, and I do question this because Pearl did a live stream. Okay, no, I'll put this at the end. I'll put this at the end because we want to talk about the baby tweet. So Pearl decided to choose a lot more violence than usual this week. A lot more violence than usual.
Poor girl. So much violence.
Okay, so most TradCon influencers only choose their husbands because time was running out. He was not her first choice.
Who's she talking about?
Maybe he's talking about someone specific.
I would hope so, or maybe not. Maybe she's just talking in general.
Because if we're talking about TradCon, we got assumingly Lauren Chen. She's still under 30, having her baby. I don't know if I would consider Chrissy a TradCon, because we're going to go into her in just a moment and her beef with Pearl. She has never said she's a TradCon, from my knowledge. She has more conservative values now that she's older, and she's been very public about this. She's turned liberal, more conservative.
Yeah,
so,
but she's still not conservative. Isn't she libertarian? I'm pretty sure.
Probably. Most of the people I know just don't, kind of Eric July like F taxes and all.
Yeah, especially this year. Anyway, that's a whole nother argument.
I love how Camelot's just like top reply here. Anyways. But one thing that what bothers me, not only that the fact that she doesn't give advice on top of her pointing out the stats, is that she ends up going after people who are TradCon YouTubers who are doing things that you said that you should be doing. And then going after the older women who are, as her words, buzzer beater babies.
Which, by the way, it took us all entirely too long to figure out what that even could possibly mean. So if you're going to come up with a new phrase of insults, can you put a definition behind it next time? Thanks. Appreciate you. Because I was like, what does that even mean? It took 3 of us in the comments on my page to figure it out.
we for those that don't know, buzzer beater babies are basically getting that baby in before your biological time runs out.
Yeah, before your buzzer goes off, which in hindsight makes a lot of sense. But at the time, I was like, what the heck is that?
Mm-hmm. And like we've said before, the TradCon female influencers that are out there, I don't think it was self-proclaimed TradCon. Maybe it's a label put on them. I'm not sure about at least Lauren. Okay,
Lauren, I don't think Lauren's ever
said that.
It. I don't think so. I know Candace Owens definitely has not. Neither is Chrissy. I'm trying to think of who else. The only one that I know that has self-proclaimed it and she advertises it as herself, and even then she doesn't really fall into 100% except for now, is the blonde woman with the Marilyn Monroe looking girl on TikTok with the big old boobies.
The cutesy. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Essie, whatever her name is. I follow her and her name is escaping me right now. But yes, if you've seen, you know what I'm talking about. She is the only one that I know that's come out and was like, yes, I fall into this category. It's fine. And she's embraced it. But she never called herself that. They called her that and she just embraced it. It was like, okay, whatever. Call me what you want.
So let's see the next one here. So Pearl decides to write this here. Why do so many conservative women think it is their place to tell their husband when he is or is not following God? Blows my mind. Conservative women are so out of order. Now, Tugs being the religious expert between the two of us.
Oh, expert's a strong word.
Between the two of us. Because obviously I'm not religious. I don't follow any religion, but
Mhm.
I would like to know your thoughts. Like,
Mhm.
if, like, say Mark and we were having a disagreement, an argument, or whatever it is, and I was like, maybe we should do it this way because it's more efficient.
Mhm.
Is that out of line? Like, as a Christian, Catholic, or whatever religious.
No, and ultimately, like if you want to follow a more traditional households in that situation, it would be I think we should complete this project ABC, whatever. You're building a cabinet, you're designing a house. Okay, I think this is the most efficient way of doing this, etc., etc. And you go, well, what about this? This is the most efficient way. Or I like this paint color. This is even more simple. I like this paint color, and I like this paint color. And the two of you go back and forth for months, and then ultimately your husband goes, no, it's this paint color, and you go, okay. That's where that following your husband's lead is, right? I want to take this trip, okay, but we're financially saving for a house. Oh, maybe I compromise as the husband and I say, we can do 2 days, but we're not taking a full week. And you go, yes, okay, that's fine. What Pearl is talking about, that's not exactly what Pearl's talking about. What Pearl is talking about right now is, or in this tweet, is the behavior. If you are in a godly relationship and you are tradcon, which means you follow the word of God and you follow Proverbs 31 woman, and the man is the leader, and blah, 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 and you're supposed to follow him. She is saying that you are not supposed to tell him how he's supposed to speak to you. You're not supposed to tell him how to do anything at all, and you're not supposed to tell him how he is and isn't acting within the presence of God. And I don't agree with any of that at all whatsoever. And I think that's for anybody who is religious. If you see one of your friends, family members, your spouse, whoever slipping, if they are in that space and they are slipping from the Lord, then yeah, you're supposed to call them out and be like, hey, what's going on? Is everything okay? I mean, you don't have to be rude about it. But yeah, if you set these parameters and you're acting a fool, he's going to call you out. And he's acting a fool, you should be able to call him out that way as well.
Yeah, because okay, I can understand like maybe small little things within the household, but like this is an extreme example, which I know some people don't like. Like, say your husband is having, as we call it today, an emotional affair, hang out with a girl from work all the time, texting, whatnot. Are you just supposed to sit there and take it?
Right.
According to this tweet, I'm just putting an example and something extreme just to get an idea, because I don't know where the line is drawn. Who can comment on this and say, maybe that's not okay? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, I'm not religious, so I don't understand these things. And this is me trying to understand it.
Yeah. And the other thing, I don't know if it's this tweet. It might be this tweet. I don't remember. I saw, or maybe it was a debate. Everything's all jumbled now. They were talking about Lauren. I know this was part of the debate. I don't remember how it got brought up though. Pearl was like, who are you? It was the debate. Who are you to tell a man how to speak to his family in his own home?
Oh,
and I'm
yes,
like,
it was in the debate. It was in the debate.
That is so ridiculous to me. She's like, if you're a Christian woman, and who are you to tell your husband how to talk to you? I'm like, if he is truly a Christian, godly man, he's going to be speaking to you with respect. And if he's not, that's a problem. Like, what is wrong with you? Are you okay? What? And yeah, if you saw if Mark was speaking to you a certain way, I would be like, hey, everything okay? Friend to friend, just to make sure you guys are okay. He shouldn't be talking to you like that. Like, are you okay with him talking to you like that? Okay. You know what I mean? There's no reason why that you should not hold people accountable for their behaviors or the way that they're acting, especially if it's in public. Like, if you're acting a fool to your wife in public, you bet your butt somebody's gonna be like, what's going on, my guy? Everything okay? Okay. You know,
if it gets too far, who knows? Police could be involved. And then this tweet, who are you to tell this guy what to do? That's his household there. Sorry, guys.
911. Oh, just kidding. We can't tell what the men to do are allowed to do in their own home.
It's just an extreme example. Okay. I'm just trying to understand and maybe work my brain. Because like little things, sure. The guy likes to have his coffee, like the main pot in the house, black. The woman likes to have cream in her coffee. So maybe she should just put the cream in her cup instead of the actual coffee pot. I don't know. I'm just putting out a really nondescript example there. What does this say here?
McFly says, why would you not be able to say, hey, I don't like this. Let's come to a compromise and do things differently. No party should ever have a free pass to act like an a-hole. Exactly. Which is why people on the Pearl side give Crowder the benefit of the doubt. Because she, according to this tweet, is not allowed to be upset that he talked to her that way. And I think that's absurd. He should not be talking to her that way, period. And she shouldn't talk to him that way either. It's a two-way street. It's not just him. Do you know what I mean? Like, where did we go from as a group of humans with this thought process? What? Yes, my man makes the final decisions. Yeah, I follow him that way, but that doesn't mean he has the right to talk down to me, to disrespect me, to do any of that, especially if he claims to be a Christian. I don't know what Islam does, but especially if he claims to be a Christian or a Catholic. Like, what?
Yeah. Okay, here.
Not our God.
I want to just bring the super chat in because it's pertaining to this conversation. Darian for 999. In Christianity, women follow the husband as the husband follows Christ. If this is broken, then your family is living on rebellion against God. This is why the Proverbs 31 woman is valued. So
Yeah.
if you see your husband's not following Christ, are you allowed to say something?
Yeah. I don't
Just
see why
based
you
on
would not be.
this, I'm just reading what I've seen and interpreting it. And forgive me if I'm wrong.
Because if the husband's not following Christ, then your whole family is living in rebellion against God.
So you would want to steer your family in the right direction?
You're required to. Yeah. I don't know what she's talking about. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You're required to. And if you feel like maybe you can't reach him, which is a whole nother problem, but we'll go with it, then your pastor at that point would be like, what's up, buddy? What's going on? What's wrong?
Yeah.
You know what? At some point,
Anyways.
somebody's going to intervene.
I'm just trying to understand. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
And Frank replies to her, and this is, I honestly, like, I know Frank and I know Chrissy, and they're very nice people, and they don't say something just to be, what's the word where it's like a backhanded comment? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
they don't just say nice things just to give you the middle finger. Says, my wife and I have conversations about helping each other live out our best lives with and through God. I hope and pray that you will find that someday, finding a partner who has your back and wants to join you in heaven someday. I think that's a nice thing to say.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
yes. Negging. Thank you, Frog. No. And Pearl decided to choose violence that day. And decided to bring in your wife is an overweight 40-year-old who chose you after 15 plus years of doing God knows what. No one wants what you have. If you ever leave her good graces, her army of friends will treat you the same way they treat me. I actually don't know how old Chrissy is, so I'm not commenting on that because that's her private information.
I don't know for sure.
Chrissy, postpartum 1 year, or not 1 year, 1 month, not like barely. 1.5, maybe at best. 1 and 2 weeks. That's 1.5. Oh my God. So I'm not commenting on her weight. I do think she's like almost basically back to her. It looks like, at least, she's almost back to her before bod, except bigger boobs. And that is not me being like, yay, women. That's just me being observative, unbiased.
Yeah, she definitely bounced back, which is awesome. Honestly, not many women. I mean, that's nothing bad. Like, not many women do. It just takes such a toll on our bodies that we just kind of hang out there for the rest of our lives. But she looks great. I think she looks great.
Yeah. So regardless, I think that anytime you go after someone, and then there's the whole 15 plus years. Frank and her have been together for 10 years.
Yeah.
So I think that's a pretty long time. That's pretty committed, and you want that type of commitment from someone. And you can't choose. This is from Zia yesterday, by the way. You cannot choose what your followers do. You can tell them you shouldn't be doing things like ratioing a post or a video or whatever. But in the end, they are autonomous. They are allowed to do what they want. So if, God forbid, that happened and, they wanted to do that, white knight for her, that's their prerogative. as is their prerogative to white knight for Chrissy right now with this
Yep.
tweet.
Yeah. My favorite part about this is she was like, no one wants what you have. And and she talked about this in the live stream that she did.
Squeeze me.
He never said for you to have what he has. He simply says, I hope and pray that you will have that someday, which is finding a partner who has your back.
That
He
has
never said,
nothing
"I
to
hope
do
you
with
have
their
what we have."
relationship. Has nothing to do with the relationship whatsoever.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I was like, she definitely came from this from a very big emotional standpoint, which, listen, I've gotten defensive on, we all have, with people who are commenting and you're just so sick of it and you lash out. I get it. I get it. I understand. I get it.
And I'll say this, Chrissy
But
has been very specific on at least the simcasts that I've been on. I don't watch all of them. She
same.
does not go for, or she did not, because I didn't watch the current simcast from the past week. She did not go for the low hanging fruit that is very easy. And for what I'm trying not to do is to trash other women's looks, because that takes away from the conversation. And this tweet was from May 19th, which was Sunday at 7:57 p.m. Simcast is
Right
at 9
before
p.m.
Simcast.
Okay? Before, because I see you, Darian, I see you. Pearl did it first.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, technically, this happened. Well, God, it's been probably a year now. I know she was on Chrissy's show. She's like, I was gracious enough to go on her show for free. Ma'am, settle down. All right. Nobody knew who you were 2 years ago. Calm down. But anyway, the biggest thing that I know of, first of all, when this all started, especially between the two of them, and then of course Venti and all that stuff. I think Pearl blames Chrissy solely for Venti's videos about her, which is not fair for one.
Venti does
Again,
takedowns, by the way.
Can't control what your friends do. You can be like, hey, you want to part of this, but have at it, lady. But you can't. People are their own people. Two, Pearl has been going after people's looks for as long as I have known her. Not her personally, but as long as I've been watching her, which is over a year now. If you go back to all of her old, even live streams, her tweets, the 35 to 25 thing, she's been retweeting people. She attacked Bernadine's looks on this live stream 2 days ago for no gosh darn reason, brought her out of left field in this conversation. She's been doing it a very long time. And I am not somebody who does that. If you're going to talk to a person, I believe that you should talk to them and not result to insults and all that. I get where things get heated. Sometimes it happens fine. But if you go after somebody first, if you go after their family, you go after their kids, you go after their looks first, then you are fair game, my friend. You started
And
it.
she did, by the way.
And in this case, she especially started it. So, do I agree with clapping back in the same manner? I don't think that you should stoop to that level. No, but I also get where it's like, well, okay, well, you want it, fine. Gloves are off. Gloves are off.
I'm so glad Frank ratioed this because I agree with this. How did you get so triggered when I literally said I would pray that you'll find a partner in life? Incredible, really. Maybe show a bit of humility for once and people won't keep making fun of you, which I think is a fair reply because, that's his wife. You're making fun of his wife who just gave birth. So, and she said, not triggered at all, actually. You said, live how my wife and I live. Tell me where that is in this
Literally
tweet.
not what he had. Well, not what he said.
So, no one wants
Not
what you
at
have.
all. That's not what he said at all.
Frank said, you asked why conservative women want their husbands to live through God. I commented with an example. WTF is wrong with you? And she said, yeah, and I don't like liars. Conservative women get married at 22, not 40. Play pretend at home. She's not a conservative woman. She has conservative values. I don't know if you know this, Pearl.
Yeah.
And then when she was 22, she had self-admitted she was more liberal at that time. Stay out of my comment section with that BS. Now, I'm sorry. You are in a public space with a almost 2 million person channel, like follower on YouTube, with public comments. You have no right to say stay out of my comments when it's public. And if you
Yeah.
don't want him in your comments, block him. Go ahead. That's what the block button is for. You don't have to see comments like this.
Mm-hmm.
Or ignore it. You could have just ignored it. You didn't have to
always
reply to him.
happens. This always happens. And it's not just Pearl, it's everybody. They run their mouths until the point where they feel like they're being I'm attacked and everything. It was like you did this to yourself, my friends. All of you, whoever you are. It's not just her. It's everybody. It's all of them.
Yeah.
They
You're
always do
allowed to comment on other people's relationships, but they can't wish you, I hope you find someone you love one day.
God forbid. We hope that for you because we really do, because everybody deserves happiness, I think. And maybe that happiness is not a marriage. Maybe it's a dog. I don't know. But either way, you deserve to be happy.
Look at this. Pearl has never pissed me off personally. She's never done anything to me. I'm small and insignificant in the, the sphere. But, I do think she's a guy's girl. And I tend to be good friends with those types. She just seems to run her mouth off when it comes to the creator space. But I don't think she maybe is 100% like that in personal life. Don't know. So if I met her, I'd be civil to her.
Fealty
really?
says Pearl wiped her entire YouTube channel about 5 months ago. Oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. All her old interviews and everything is gone. She was getting exposed for being a grifter, or lying grifter, screwing her staff. Oh, is that what happened to what's his bucket, the producer she had? Huh. I'm gonna have to look more into that because that makes a bunch of sense. She's that's about the time where we were like, is she okay? She's like flipped the switch and become a huge mean girl, so that makes sense. John Kakosa says everyone constantly making videos, sending tweets, and talking about Pearl only makes her reach bigger. If everyone ignored her, she would go away. No, she wouldn't. And I said this to somebody who responded the same thing to my tweet. She won't, because there are people who genuinely believe her message and genuinely follow her and genuinely take her advice. So she'll never, which is or is not good, is whatever. Neither here nor there. That's just the meat of it. The same reason Fresh and Fit won't go away. It's the same reason Rolo won't go away. Like, they have a following. They have people who believe in them. So no, she's never going to go away. At least not yet. At least not yet.
Yeah. Okay. So where were we? Okay, here, Frank. Who is lying? LOL about what? You're really coping hard and deflecting, and it's bizarre. You asked a question, now you're crying because I gave you an honest example.
Mm-hmm.
And in the comments, there's a mix of people who are for this and who are against it. And in my personal opinion, I do think that it came out of left field, her reply, the first one, and then it snowballed into this. Did she do this insidiously for clicks? Potentially. I don't know
Was
what
it a
she's
gut
thinking.
reaction because she's sick of people picking on her? Also, potentially. She says that on her live stream. She's like, I'm sick of these people. Bless you. They've been coming after me for months and for years and blah, 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 blah.
But
And
you're
I just
in a
snapped.
public space.
Like, well.
People comment on me all the time.
Yeah.
When I was 25 pounds up, guess what? Extra girl looking a little chunky today. Did I go and be like, no, I didn't. And that's fine.
Yeah.
People are allowed to say what they want. That's probably in their internal dialogue anyway. This is part of being in the public space. But we've talked about this before. There are ways to talk about this in a nicer manner and use nicer words if you want to have an actual good conversation. So who knows? Who freaking knows?
It definitely was a personal response for sure. And listen, we've all been there. I've gotten into Twitter fights and I'm like, God, I wish I had just ignored that because I look like an idiot. We've all been there. We've all been there.
Let me share this because I actually haven't watched this video and I kind of want to. I don't know if we'll watch the entirety of it. Have you watched it?
Mm-hmm. I don't remember a lot of it. This is where I first heard about the buzzer beater baby. Oh, I quote tweeted this and was like, oh yeah, she talks about, well, we'll watch it. But yes, I did a quote tweet on it, which is blowing up for some weird reason. But I did a quote tweet on it and I was like, what the heck is a buzzer beater baby?
Okay. I mean, we could go back and find the original post before we even watch the video because I actually do think that to give context about this. So Chrissy replied to Pearl's post about the 40-year-old overweight tweet says, Chrissy says, I could roast you, but I'd rather say that even though you might not think so, you're worthy of love, Pearl. The fact that you got this triggered over someone praying you find a husband tells me you don't feel worthy of it, but you are. Everyone is. And then this is where Chrissy roasted her. Let's all pray for Pearl tonight that she finds the love of her life this year, a guy who will love all 7 feet of her chilly, refrigerated body and melt her prickly disposition. Yeah. And this is where the claws come out. This is where they come out. Pearl says, and you are worthy of taking this L, Miss Buzzer Beater Pregnancy. Pray for your kid when his classmates ask if you're his or her mom or grandma at graduation. If you make it that long, your show looks like a casting call for a woke all-female Hobbit remake.
Oh my gosh, you know what I just realized she's saying here? I've seen this tweet 40 bazillion times and it just hit me. If you make it that long.
I mean, yes, I noted that. I did think that the fact that she knew about Hobbit remakes and whatnot, that was, you know, surprised she knew pop culture reference. But
no, but she's saying that she's insinuating that Chrissy may not be alive when her kid graduates because she's old. Like she's older mother. Are you kidding me? Right? Oh my God. That's mean.
Statistically, people die average 80 years old right now in the United States, I believe. So Chrissy, at least statistically, should make it towards graduation as well as university/college. So there you go. And this is the thing. Sure, bring Chrissy into it. And Chrissy was pretty lighthearted about it. She could have gone meaner, I know. But this is where it's like, okay, don't bring the kid in.
And also, if you make it that far, that if you're alive to see it, wow, just wow.
I
can't believe that never clicked in my head until just now when you read it.
Everything was lighthearted, and I say lighthearted meaning like internet troll lighthearted until this moment, in my opinion, and I could be wrong.
Jeez, Louiso. She just turned so mean girly. I don't.
Yes, and we'll get to that. Her being mean. Frank goes, Pearl bringing an infant into the conversation, but she isn't triggered, guys. She isn't triggered. She isn't. So there we go. She did a reply video, and I do want to watch it because I haven't seen this yet, and I kind of wanted to have a genuine reaction to it.
Good luck. This was the tweet. This was the first thing I saw, weirdly enough. No, that's not true. I saw her overweight comment, and then I saw this. I can't remember. It all happened so fast. Everybody was retweeting everything, and I was like,
Yeah, and the thing that gets me is that even if whatever Chrissy, we know liberal turned conservative values, she ended up getting married, has a lot more traditions, and is helping the population. But it's like Pearl just wants to latch on the negative aspects of it.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Before you start, we have a special guest in the chat.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Frank. 1999 super chat. Thank you. Hello, ladies. Something else interesting.
Or
sad. Pearl retweeted all her responses to me, attempting to signal her fans. Look at her tweet views compared to mine. Just wanted to brag.
I've seen them.
Pearl without an L. I'm gonna
and you ratioed her quite a few times with your replies. I saw that. I did see that, Frank. And I was like, dang, Pearl has how many followers versus you? It's like, girl.
Oh,
you ain't doing well. Frank. Yeah, I do find that really weird. It reminds me of someone who does that a lot, that is on the outs with Pearl as well, who wears a hat, a beanie all the time.
Oh.
And then tweets their book after. Anywho, I do think he's nice, though. I do think it's a little funny that he tweets his book after all the time, though. Get my book.
Frank, give that baby all the kisses from us, please.
Yes. Give the beanie your kisses. I can't wait. I hope I get to meet the beanie soon.
Oh, same.
So let's see what she says here.
So, what I am tired of is conservatives putting their personal relationships as what we should aspire to. So many times, Christian content creators have been married 5 minutes. They haven't even made it to the 7-year itch. And yet, they want to lecture us on how to be married. They want us to aspire to their relationships. So, it was really interesting because I tweeted, why do so many conservative women think it's their place to tell their husband when he is and is not following God? So what I often see is women want to weaponize the Bible to control their husband. So there's a verse in the Bible that says women should only submit to their husband when he follows God. There's also another verse that says obey him in all things, but women tend to forget that one. So what this tends to lead to is the women thinking it's their place to lecture their husbands on when they're following God. To put this in perspective, women have no problem taking orders from their boss. Even if your boss gives you an order that maybe is you disagree with, you might think it's the wrong direction, you still got to do it. But women don't even have that basic respect for their husbands. It's so crazy. So this simp responds to me. And again, he's putting his relationship at the forefront. My wife and I have conversations about helping each other live our best lives with and through God. I hope and pray that you will one day find a partner who has your back and wants to join you in heaven someday. So we all know what this means. We all know, one, when conservatives tell you to go to, that they're going to pray for you, it's just a passive aggressive way of saying to go fuck yourself.
Now, is that true?
No.
Because
I think she's projecting. No, I think she feels that way because so
'Cause
many people
I've-
say it to her all the time.
like the only time that I can distinctly remember people saying like I'm praying for blah 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 cancer diagnosis, someone passed away, stuff like that. I don't see her view on that per se, but I guess
I think she's confusing, like Fealty in the chat says, she's confusing it with "Oh bless your heart," which means go after yourself or have a magical day. But no, I have not. I saw some people when I quote tweeted this, it under my responses that were like, it absolutely does. One guy was like, I'm Catholic and I hear it from Protestants all the time and it's always so snarky. I'm like, okay, well, that sounds like a you and a Protestant problem. Like, that's not, what are you guys fighting over turf? What is even happening right now? That's not what that means. Like, if you're taking it that way, that's on you. That's on you.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm seeing mostly people saying it's genuine. Some people saying it's like half and half. So I'm kind of on the fence about this, just giving her chat at the very least, because I call at least X to doubt on my personal views of this, because I've never had anyone say, I'm praying for you and thought, oh, they're horrible people because they're said to F me or they version.
Yeah, I've never heard it in that way either. I guess maybe if you're not a religious person, you can. I've seen people who don't believe in God, and they'll be, and you'll say, "I'm praying for you" or whatever. Even if you're not arguing, you're just, and they lose their minds. Well, you don't need to pray for me. I'm not even religious. I don't believe in your God. Blah blah blah. And you're like, okay, God, calm down. It doesn't mean anything. Relax. So I think those people, yes, offense is taken, not given. Yeah, exactly. That's
all
on
about
that's
perception.
with her.
So I think that if she really wanted to understand, maybe she should have DM'd Frank and just been like, hey, just wanted to clarify before igniting the flames. But I know Frank well enough to say I do not think that he meant it in any malicious way.
No way. Absolutely not. Because honestly, at the end of the day, I've seen so many people even people who argue, even people who don't like her, like we've talked about it, and not that we don't like her, but we disagree with a lot of what she's doing lately. We're like, I really want her to find happiness and to find what she's looking for, whatever that may be. You know, I pray that she finds that. And I'm sorry that she finds it offensive.
And my
But I don't
version
mean
is,
it
I
in a
hope
bad
she
way.
finds it.
Yeah, your version would be, I hope you find that. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Is that necessarily a bad thing? No, she has never pissed me off personally. She's never gone after me. I'm fine with that. I do think that everyone deserves happiness. And I don't mean it in a malicious way, because I do think that society is better with happier people. Okay.
Yep.
There we go. Definitely not being malicious. I genuinely was trying to answer a question and wish her well. See?
Yep.
Knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
So
apparently that's the new bless your heart.
bless your
memo.
heart.
I miss
I
that
don't think it's
memo.
nice when people say that, to be honest.
The bless your heart.
I
My
love it when
favorite,
people
my
say it.
favorite. My favorite was when I worked at Disney and you had a difficult guest. I'm spilling all the cast member secrets right now. If you see a cast member with a difficult guest and they say, have a magical day at the end of it, and there's a slight change to the tone, that's the Disney version of go fuck yourself.
Yeah. All right.
That's our version of bless your heart.
Let's see the rest of this video and see what she has to say. Also, I don't really know if I like this Daisy shirt that she's wearing. Or maybe it's just the way she's sitting.
On her skin tone. It could be the way she's
Yeah,
sitting.
I think it's the way she's sitting, probably. But anyways, it's bothering me a little bit. Okay.
Kind of looks like you remember we're sidebarring now, but you remember those shirts in the late
Oh my god,
90s,
they're like
early-
one size fits all, and they're bubble
Yeah,
wrap
the little
looking,
ones.
and then
Yeah.
you like expands to like extra large.
That's what
Yeah,
it reminds me of. I miss those shirts, Loki. Like I think I called them bubble shirts. I don't know if
the
that's
bubble shirts.
actual
Yeah,
name of it, but-
yeah. From Vegas to Toronto, it's still the same. We're on the same wavelength. Frank says, I'm pretty honest and not shy to tell someone to F themselves, especially online. LOL, no need to be passive aggressive for me. Abso-freaking-lutely.
Right? It's so interesting to me because I said this about Eric July last week. I was like, if Eric July is going to write a hit piece song on you, like you're going to know that it's about you. You know, if Frank is going to tell you to go F yourself and fall down a
You
sewer
will
line,
know. He
literally
said F yourself.
F you, fall down the sewer line. You know what I mean?
Like he's not passive aggressive like how some women are. Like she has a very like female mindset, at least when it comes to tweets, if that is how she's viewing his tweet. So let's see what else she has to say.
And so if you're coming to my comment section, I have to live in reality. And if you're gonna put your relationship as the thing we should aspire to,
She didn't.
I'm gonna comment on
sorry.
if I think we should aspire to it. So I point out, this man is having a child by a woman who's 40 years old. These tend to be buzzer beater pregnancies. That is what they tend to be.
Tend meaning not all.
Still at this point, had no idea what that even was. What the heck is that?
Yeah, and if correct me if I'm wrong, with religion, they say there's the steps to doing babies, marriage, then baby, right? And to be honest, they got pregnant real freaking quick.
After getting married, yeah. Kudos to waiting 10 years. Like that's impressive.
So, Fertile Myrtle over here, and what's a good name for someone who's a sharpshooter? But anyways, you know, like,
oh my god,
I think they did good.
right? No kidding. You were together that long and nothing. In 2 seconds after you got married, boom! That was pretty impressive.
ID
Guys.
day. Yeah, I'm actually legitimately impressed.
90 day. Thank you.
Women pick the men that they want when we're in our youth, at least our 20s. And if
Frank, if you're here, did y'all start dating like 10 years ago, right? Just saying. Oh my God, Jonathan. I don't even want to say that.
That's a good point though. She's saying men pick or women pick the men that they want in their 20s. Well, if it's 10 years ago, I don't again, not knowing how old Chrissy is. Let's say she's my age, 36. 10 years ago she was 26. Boom. Pick the man.
Yep.
You're 20.
And Darian, I do believe this is technically true, but we're just commenting on Chrissy and Frank's relationship at this point because she didn't make this video just on a whim. It was a reaction to what was going on.
If a woman in her 30s finds the man that she wants, she is dying to have his kid. She wants to have his kid, not any kid. And what I keep finding is these men that have no idea their wives, really, you're not her first choice. She wouldn't have picked you at 22. And I can tell on how, if the woman respects the husband, I can tell in the way she talks about him, the way she treats him. It's super obvious to everyone involved except the two. And it's pretty embarrassing because you get conservative commentators saying, well, my wife turned me down for a date. That's one. Or I have to ask my wife before making major decisions. And you just see all these whipped ass husbands that will die on the hill of their wife ruling over them.
So wait, I'm confused.
At the same time, okay, so she's saying that if you're in a conservative relationship, and I'll say this, at least on a lighter example, because I'm not going to give a major decision. Say she is involved in remembering every single little part about your schedule. And this is notorious of men. Men are horrible with schedules.
Mm-hmm.
And say, hey, babe, my friends want to go out on Saturday. We don't have anything planned that day, right? Is that not something that you should maybe ask? Because say if he did plan to go with the friends, but they had family plans with his family or her family that was set before that, but he forgot. Is that not something that a guy should do, especially if he's forgetful?
Yeah.
I would think. But that's just a light example of it. Major life decisions. Say you want to buy a house. Surely it doesn't mean as a girl grow older, she learned what she really wanted and had a greater appreciation for a man they fall for later in life. I mean, hey, there's also that. But I'm just saying, say you are buying a house for your family. You want your wife as happy as possible. Honey, do you like this house? Is that not something you should do as a couple so that she's happy, you're happy, and we're all happy together? I don't know.
Mm.
Oh my God, I love this laundry room. Oh my God, I love this kitchen. It's the best kitchen in the world. Oh, that kitchen doesn't have that little space that I really wanted, like a pantry, a walk-in pantry. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like these little things.
Listen, I love a good kitchen.
And that's what I'm saying is, hey, happy wife with the house. Because if you want her to be a homemaker, she better be happy in the house.
That's fair. At least she's got to like the house. You don't got to love it. You can always improve the house.
Yeah. And that's the major decision that I'm like talking about. No one would buy a house. Yeah. Well, at least today, solo. Not many people, at least. So, what do you want to read what he said?
Sorry. Frank says, this annoys me. Chrissy and I literally left it to God. We did not plan or track her menstrual stuff. Stuff. That's such a guy thing to say. We decided that it was part of God's plan. We would be open to it after we exchanged our vows. Yeah, and that's what happens. You know, some people have to track, some people don't, and you just YOLO it. It's all part of life's journeys. And if you are religious, then yes, you leave that up to God, and it's up to him whether you're ready or not. And if that kind of thing, and maybe you need to go through another trial or two first, and other people just go with their cycles. Some people do both, and that's fine too. Yeah. But yeah, amen to your speedy spermies.
Bye, Mila.
Bye, Mila.
All right, let's see what else she has to say. Hope this video is almost over.
Extra girl just admitted.
And I want to go back to I have to keep going back to the boss example, because when you look at a boss, You would never question his decisions. You would never go every day to work and criticize your boss. No, you would be let go. But women give more respect to their boss than they do their husbands. So tonight we're going to talk about buzzer beater babies and how you can tell the difference between a chick that had a kid with a guy that she loves and really wants to be with, and a buzzer beater baby child who just wants a sperm donor. Don't put your personal relationships as a model if I can't comment on it. So I don't feel bad in the slightest. Tonight, live.
Okay, no, she's just promoing. But I do think that she looked a little too hard into that tweet to her personal thoughts.
It was a lot of rambling for sure. CJ does. I mean, I agree with this. I definitely agree with that. She's got a point. If a girl talks to you with less respect than she does her boss, absolutely, yeah, that's a problem. No,
where I used to work, we had a bunch of different committees, and I actually really liked being part of some of these committees because we actually, as weird as it sounds, enacted change because apparently change in the X-ray world needs to happen, and just like flow and whatnot. And guess what? When we wanted change, did it happen? Did we tell our boss? Okay, I say our boss, but our manager, because our boss is the CEO who I don't talk to as much as our manager. She did. She listened, especially like I'm a woman of very few words. If I say something, I really do mean it. Mm-hmm. And so like you've seen me on FNT. Now I do say a lot of stupid things, but I try to make it worth it. Okay. Okay.
Like go tit.
That's it. No, that was by accident. And I actually put it in text in our private conversation. And Ryan Kinnell decided to read that out. So anyway.
That does not surprise me. Of all the people that decided to snitch on you. That sounds about right.
Did you just say go tit instead of got it? Yep. We got some super chats here. Jason for $5 says, hi to the amazingly and beautiful congenial X-ray girl and endearing benevolent hugs. Poor choices always makes my Thursday. Yes, because he's in Australia, so it is Thursday for him.
I love how Jason comes up with these amazing adjectives every single time.
I'm going to go to the bathroom. So if you can read a couple of these, that would be great. Sure. I'll be back.
Where do we leave off? I don't know. Deranged Lunatic for $4.99 says, remember, it was the so-called, quote, religious people that crucified Jesus. Well, that's fair. His own people, really. Some people get that confused. I mean, the Romans maybe could have helped more, but that's fine. Mongoose, member for 6 months, a good night message. Good night, X-ray tugs and chat. Have fun. Thank you, Mongoose, and thank you for all of these subs earlier. Thank you. Andrew Matthews for £2 British. Why are you showing? Oh, that's mean. No meanies. But thank you for the £2 anyway. Let's see. A Nightmare for $5 says Pearl gets pushed over the other red pill types because she's unoriginal and the perfect punching bag to make, quote, manosphere types look bad. Ooh. Now that's a discussion. I did also see CJ in the chat kind of talk about this too. I don't know where that message is now, but I did see you, CJ, say like all the red pill people make fun of Pearl behind her back. Is that true? I don't know. I don't watch a lot of it anymore because it hurts my head now. Yeah, to be honest with you, my brain hurts. But yeah, that's interesting. Thank you, Nightmare, for the $5. That's very interesting. I think some of them make themselves look bad too. But I get what you're saying there for sure. Let's see. Soldier73 for $9.99. Love when you two get together. Unfortunately, she's headed to cat lady status with no husband and children to show for her boss babe life that she constantly rags on other women about, and it's sad. We've talked about this before. This is very true. She's very much created this life that she rags on a lot of other women for having. So what's the right answer here, Pearl? I have questions. Pearl, what the right answer is. I don't know. But yeah, they don't make fun of her behind her back. They do it openly. Oh, do they? Apparently, we need to watch more.
That make fun of her?
The other red pill people. CJ said earlier, I saw it. It's gone now. I don't know where it went. He mentioned earlier that in a comment that the red pill people actually don't take her seriously, the other red pill people, and they make fun of her behind her back. And there was a super chat that we just got that also talks about how she's making the other manosphere people look bad and they don't actually like her. And I was like, oh.
Well, and that's the one thing. Okay, so I'm reading it.
That's bummer.
That was SLDR that you just read,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Now, I'm a person that likes the idea, and this is something that my parents ingrained in me, is lead by example. Show rather than tell, because I think that is way more effective than just continually preaching. It's like, will you follow a preacher, priest, man of God, doesn't matter, if you know he is doing crappy things within the community?
That's like most of them.
I mean, okay, I don't know.
But
I'm
I
just
see
saying,
what you're
like,
saying. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know. Maybe I'm using the wrong example, but like, I know at least when it comes to our version in Asian culture, we got the monks. Okay. The monks are our version of man of God, and they actually live that lifestyle. They are like so modest. And like, I've met quite a few in my lifetime because we did go to temple a lot when we were kids. And they're just like lovely human beings to talk to. And they're very simple. They can eat a bowl of rice very easily. They don't need much, maybe a bit of meat if they're not vegetarian. I don't know. It's just that is the key of living the example to show that this could be done. And Pearl just commentating on it kind of irks me a bit. And that's just me taking it personally in the sense that my parents taught me this. You should be doing this if you're telling people how to live their lives, which she says she doesn't tell people how to live their lives. By the way, just putting that out there. She did say that. But at the same time, spouting all these statistics to show that it sucks to get married and then for them to make their decision themselves, that's up to them. So
it sounds to me like you're telling people not to get married.
No. She's putting the onus on them so that she can absolve herself of all that guidance that she's not giving them. And that's how I'm looking at it. Hey, if I'm wrong, please tell me, because
I'm not trying to tell people what to do. I'm just telling people that, doing this thing that you want to do is very, very bad. But I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you that the thing that you want to do is very bad and it's not going to end well for you. And it's going to make you so miserable. But I'm not telling you what to do.
I don't.
They're all like that. They drive me bonkers.
Huh? Nothing. No, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, be the change you want to see in the world, Abe. For freaking sure. Okay, the Dalai Lama, because I was like, okay, sure. He did kiss a boy on the lips. From my understanding, culturally, it is very different than American culture, but I don't know. That is my understanding of that. People do some weird culture. Was it Tom Brady kisses their kids on the lips still? At like 8, 9 years old? I don't know. Joshua, you guys are killing me. And hey, I've never met the Dalai Lama, okay? I'm talking about my personal experience with the monks that I've met in real life. Oh, he had the boy suck his tongue? I don't remember that. So I can't make a comment unless I know what exactly happened, and I don't want to. I'm not saying it's wrong, okay, Darian? Pearl reports statistics. She's also accurate. Not sure what that's wrong. It's not wrong at all. But what I was trying to say is that lead by example. She, at 26 or 27 years old, is far expired according to what she said. I'm not Tibetan either, because I had to Google what country the Dalai Lama's from. I'm giving my experience, okay?
I saw that Dalai Lama video. I
didn't. I can't comment because I've never seen it. I don't follow him specifically.
It was uncomfortable to watch, and I wish I hadn't seen it. And that's just, I mean, also, isn't the Dalai Lama like 200 years old? Not excusing the behavior, but is his brain?
I mean, I don't know anything about him specifically. Hey, From
That video was very uncomfortable though.
1 to 15, 16 years old when I still went to temple. And my experiences from there, I had great guidance. So I'm just showing my experience, okay? Dalai Lama never met him. Don't know what he's like. I'm not gonna watch it in another tab, Fealty.
I don't recommend you watch it at all. It's scarring for life.
Yeah, I still have to go research on a lot of stuff from this stream because there's a lot we learned. So Andrew with 5 British pounds says no one wants to give Pearl a necklace. That's why that I call her.
Ew.
Okay. I don't know what that means. I don't want to know what that means. Nightmare has been a member for 1 month, says Pearl should give Big Nasty a chance. I don't know who that is, but maybe he has a chance. Maybe. I don't know. And Jason Webster for $10. The opinions and advice anyone should value and take in are from their closest to them, family, friends, and those whose opinions and advice matter. Example, employers, nothing else matters. Yes. So I greatly agree on that because I've always been a huge proponent of, especially being on the internet. And y'all know that before I actually showed my face, I didn't want to do it until Mark proposed to me. And I didn't mean that in the way of, I need you to propose to me. I wanted some permanence in the space with him specifically. I was online, obviously, voice, mask, blah, blah, blah. I showed my face to you guys, the girls, but I knew exactly what could have come from being in the space.
Mm-hmm.
The hardships, I mean, not the positives.
Yeah.
Because I have seen a lot of crap go down and I wasn't ready for it unless Mark was ready to make a commitment, and therefore I make a commitment to him to be permanently in the space.
Be your anchor, basically. You know, stuff goes wild.
And I want that reliance from him. So, and vice versa.
From when I heard about the kiss thing, people I trust to know what they're talking about, it was something culturally normal, just troubling for Westerners. I don't know. Here, I hear you. I hear you. Of course,
don't know anything.
I don't know anything about the culture, but what I do know is an uncomfortable kid when I see one, and that kid did not want to be there. That was yes, the video is weird and it's uncomfortable as a Westerner to watch, but also that poor kid, his face, he was like, do I have to? I don't want to, you know what I mean? And I thought that was weird for something that is. Okay,
here we go. So I did Google, is it normal to kiss kids in Tibet? Kissing is a common way to greet or show affection, especially among family members or close friends. It's not uncommon to see adults kissing children on cheek, forehead, or lips as a sign of affection or respect. Deeply rooted in Tibetan tradition, is often seen to show love, care, and compassion. And then they bring up the Dalai Lama's actions, where he kissed a child on the lips and asked him to suck his tongue, has sparked debate about the cultural significance of such behavior, which has criticized the Dalai Lama's actions as inappropriate. And then others have defended him as a traditional Tibetan greeting. So there is a little controversy in that space.
Traditional Tibetan greeting. They're like, everybody.
I don't know. I'm not Tibetan, okay? I'm Buddhist, but I'm not Tibetan, okay?
I mean, the kid was fine with the kissing part. It was the tongue thing that freaked him out. And you can visibly see this kid be like,
because that's not, maybe that wasn't normal to him. He's never really done that before, right?
Yeah, I don't know, but it was very weird.
I haven't watched the video, so who knows?
I haven't heard anything about it since. God, Lord only knows what happened to it. So.
Yeah.
Push it that way. That's all right. Anyway, back to Red Bull stuff. Sorry.
I'm gonna just show a couple of things here and there. So Chrissy puts, "Tis better to play and win the game at the buzzer than never to be called off the bench." Sports reference. And then we had a lot of people that I did see that post about her. I am on, like, Christy's my friend. So obviously by that, I am biased to kind of want to defend her. And I do think that based on the tweets and, you know, based on what I've experienced and seen and all that, that Pearl is the one that started it from what I have observed. So I do think that Chrissy is allowed to clap back if she wants to.
Bitch, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't care who you are. If you start it, you better be prepared to see it all the way through. You know, and that goes for verbal fights in person. That goes for Twitter fights. That goes for, like, if you punch me first, then you better expect to be hit back. Like, that goes with anything.
We've said if a woman punches a guy I mean, you shouldn't, but you should expect a possibility that they might punch back.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's okay.
Anything. Especially when you're online in such a public space, running. I don't want to say running your mouth, but you're just kind of. But saying things that are gaining controversy, you're going to have people be like, "Huh?" On all different opinions. Yes, no, agree, disagree, up, down, left is right, blah blah blah, whatever. It's going to open a discussion, and then you're gonna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I do. Okay, wait. Let me start at the beginning here. Oh my God. Okay, so it's about Prawn and Tim Pool decided to.
Oh yeah, I saw this earlier and send it over because I was like, when did this argument happen? So much is going on.
Yeah. So if women do not want to have sex with young men, what are the men supposed to do? Be abstinent until the 30-year-old woman decides that they are ready to have sex with them. Because Candace said, bad corn. It is a psychological weapon intended to weaken our men. Okay. So I guess she is for corn from the sense of it. Like an alternative if women aren't allowed, if they're not having sex.
If women don't want to have the sex with the young men, what are the men supposed to do? Whatever they did before pornography was invented. It's
use your
time.
Imagination.
It's called quiet time. I'm gonna make whatever.
Get ready for that buzzer beater baby they may have in the future. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, I was trying to make a joke that didn't land, in my opinion. So Mr. Pool says Pearl is right. Dudes who can't get laid should just jerk off to OF and corn. And she said, I actually didn't give a prescription. I asked a tough question, which, okay, Pearl does do this often. She poses a question, but doesn't give an answer.
Yeah. The comments under Pearl's that tweet, Candace responds and is like, I don't even really have to respond. Not this tweet, but Pearl's original tweet. Candace is like, I don't even really need to respond here because the men answered your question for you.
A lot of the guys in the comment provided you an answer with your question because they are men, not perverts. They recognize the ills of corn. The idea of women defending corn doesn't seem to impress them. She says men can say one thing for likes, but watch what they do. Women are not marrying young, and there has been an explosion of online sex work. It's a serious question. If women don't want to sleep with young men and young women don't want to get married, what do the young men? What do you expect the young men to do? Shaming them isn't going to do anything. I mean, I guess it's a valid point. Let me just see here. Corn is not a substitute for sex. Young men should avoid sin. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. And I guess Tim was like, I know how much OF Pearl likes. So, oh God, I didn't even know this was a thing. Candace says ban corn. Pearl says, what are I supposed to do? Also, Pearl, I wasn't saying anyone should do anything, dude. Come on. And that's the thing. It's like asking questions like this, even though you're not giving an answer, it's the insinuation of it or the perception of it, and knowingly that you are gonna have that perception with those words, even if it is a question.
Yeah. That's why what
do
happened with Rolo. When Rolo was like, oh, get a vasectomy at 20 or whatever, when he made that big old tweet and everybody got mad at him for it. And we were talking about, we're like, it's not, you may have not been really giving advice. Just it's the same exact thing. It's the perception of what you do for a living. And the fact that you have written in like a bazillion books, advice for men. Hello. It's the same thing here. Holocron says it has been known to the ancient world that readily available sexual pleasures greatly weakens the will of the culture bearers, aka men, to defend their own against foreign influence. It was a tactic. Oh yeah.
Yeah. But here we got this. Pearl says, what is your solution to young men that are not getting laid? Arranged marriages, hookers. I do believe in the church they just say abstinence, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
self-control.
Yeah.
And I'm saying imagination can be very powerful. Or you can watch movies. There's some movies. I watched The Boys, by the way, and there's in season 3, there's a, like, I guess we want to call it expo called Herogasm.
Oh yeah.
And there is a lot of raunchy.
Good.
Like, you don't even need to go to Korn to get illicit images.
Which is another conversation entirely, but yeah, you really don't. But also, if you are also having happy time during something like that, that may be a red flag.
No, well, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't even thinking that, but it's just because I watched the episode just now because I never finished season 3. So
season
I don't
3
know.
is wild. Team
It's
Soldier
very
Boy.
wild. Soldier Boy. I mean, I am a huge fan of that actor.
I mean, oh god. Yeah, Jensen Ackles.
Anyways,
Anyway.
back to this point. Yeah, I agreed with you though. Your counter implies dudes should use Korn and OF that they aren't getting laid. Otherwise, what does your comment even have to do with Candace? And she says, ban Korn is such an obvious and easy point that that's not even what I'm debating. What I'm saying is, why is Korn so popular? Now, you asked
easy.
You asked a question. It wasn't that. What did it fill the empty gap of what happened to a man and woman doing their stuff together until death do us part? Modern women and the trad artards that support them by ignoring the real problem entirely because they won't get off their virtue signaling. Wow, dildo, at least. Destiny enjoys it when he does it.
Why is she?
Okay, why did she need to put this here? Like, she didn't need to put that at the end.
What is she tagging Destiny for? Is she
Destiny
wrong?
wasn't part of this conversation. It was just Candace and Tim.
And that's exactly what she did with Bernadine in that live stream with Tim too. Like, why? You bringing them into it for what? Oh, I can't.
Yeah, and I do think this is the big point here. So what's your prescription? No answer. No answer. No answer. There's no answer whatsoever.
She didn't even quote tweet it? Wow, I'm shocked.
Not that I know of. Okay, I didn't go that far into researching, so. Yeah, poor Destiny getting like a stray bullet there.
I know.
Not that like I think Destiny is like poor or anything, but like he wasn't even part of the conversation whatsoever. But I do agree with Tim Pool. Like, you need to give an answer. Asking a question doesn't pose a solution, and I think that's what this world needs. Is you need to give a solution, or at least an advice on solution. You know, find a better woman than you would. I think that is a good solution. Don't date a feminist. Don't date someone who is going to be insidious. Make sure you ask the right questions, and not only see that they are answering the questions right at first date to second date, but see if their actions match their words.
Yeah. I love how she's like, what I'm asking is, why is Korn so popular? Because it's easy and convenient. It's the same reason
free.
that a Roomba, and well, it's free. It's the same reason that a Roomba is much more popular than an actual vacuum cleaner, because a Roomba is easy and convenient. It does its own thing. I don't have to do the manual labor of a vacuum, right? I don't have to do the manual labor of talking to a girl and the physical act of it and all the effort. I could just turn on my TV.
Yeah,
It's called
absolutely.
convenience.
Absolutely. And CJ, I see you there that most men are virgin at 30. One out of 3 are virgin at 30. I'm not even addressing that point. I'm addressing what is happening in these tweets per se, and the way that Pearl is approaching it, because I do think that she is bringing up a good point. Okay. I'm not discounting that, but arguing just the stats is not 100% helping the cause.
Yeah.
And I know we can't go backwards. We cannot go backwards whatsoever. So what are you going to do about
it? I don't understand why you want to go to that degeneracy anyway. Like, use the JCPenney catalog.
And hey, if you're getting dates and you're not a virgin under 30, kudos to you.
And even if you're not getting dates, for the love of Pete, do not turn on pornography. I beg y'all. I'm begging y'all. Ugh.
I understand why you do it if you do.
Don't do it. It's an addiction.
Yeah. And CJ, what I'm saying is Pearl pointing it out and not giving at least maybe a thought. It doesn't even have to be a prescription, as Tim Pool said it, a thought on what you should do or what the world should do and move forward, besides trashing on women specifically, because she does trash on a lot of women. Now, what are these men supposed to do? Maybe it's better if they actually stay virgins under 30, the third of them, because they won't have to deal with these feminist women. It's not a bad thing. I'm looking at the positives, okay? At least I'm trying to. Smoothie DJ, member for 6 months, says, always good to see you, lovely ladies. Much love. Cheers. Thank you, Smoo. And push-ups for 2 says, didn't Vietnamese Buddhists start self-flame thing? I don't know what that means. Like they burn themselves?
I
wouldn't know.
don't know, but that sounds terrible. That sounds
I don't know.
awful.
I don't know.
It sounds scary. Yes, push up with yes.
Oh, that's pretty freaking nasty.
Please don't set yourselves on fire.
Yet again, I'm going to say this. I'm just drawing on the experiences of the monks that I met. Not all monks, the monks that I met, okay?
Please don't set yourselves on fire. That is a very painful way to die. For the love of Pete. Oh my God.
Yeah,
It's a
the monks that I met
protest.
didn't burn
Oh,
themselves
Lord.
that I'm aware of. The dirty hoe. That sounds like me. No, I'm kidding. I did dirty my hoe this week because I was gardening and I had to clean out the garden beds. But anyways, hey, Pearl is my hero. Leave her alone.
Sorry.
I'm going to say the same thing, and people are open to this because I'm open to being criticized. She is in a public space and should be open to being criticized and commented on because she puts herself out there. So, and she comments on a lot of other people's stuff, and that's okay. I'm not saying I'm right or she's right or Tugs is right. I think that this space is part of what we are allowed to do and having an open opinion. We like to have an open conversation here. So if you have a reason why I should leave her alone, please let me know, old dirty hoe.
Can't tell if he's serious or not.
Me neither. So yeah. Yeah. And I'm trying. I literally am trying so hard to have an unbiased conversation because what do I want to do? I want to white knight for Chrissy because she's my friend. Okay.
I've already.
And I want to protect her. Okay. So there we go. There we go. And I'm sure Tugs is the same, honestly.
I already did it. Tweez.
That's true. That is very true.
I also defended Christians in the same tweet. So you're welcome. Where is my armor? I'm wearing the wrong color. I should have put on the white tank top today.
Joshua 029 for 5 says, the way I see it, Pearl actually has some good points, facts, but isn't capable of expressing them in a way that other people understand. Not 100% true, because I do think that she expressed it in a way that a lot of males can relate to her. I think she is able to speak to a male audience very well, but not a female.
That's all. Yeah, the men resonate to her way more than the women do, and I know I can hear CJ now. It's because women don't want to hear it. Okay, yeah, all right, whatever. But we talked about when we first started listening to her how it's nicer to hear it from a girl than it is to hear it from like Myron, who's rude all the time, 24/7.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like we talked about that, and now it's like, is she channeling Myron? Like, ma'am.
Well, okay, here. I was waiting for a moment to kind of insert this here. We love Allie, Real Femme Sapien, in we've had her on.
Yay,
she put a tweet here. And this is something I don't take lightly because Allie and her are obviously really close friends. Personally. Pearl used to be nice. She streamed long enough to become the villain. Maybe if you grown women knew how to be adults and not act like bullies, we wouldn't be in this mess. So she's giving it to both sides, okay?
She's calling everybody out. This is true. It's true.
Now you've created a much larger problem. The underdog is now the queen bee mean girl. Life comes at you fast, huh? If I were some of you and didn't want the smoke, I'd apologize privately. And vice versa, too, because I do think that Pearl and other people should probably apologize to each other. And she also has caveats at the bottom. This post does not indicate my opinion of her personal character. I do not co-sign all of her takes. I'm only adding this caveat because you guys are brats. I think that like this tweet just encompasses everything that is kind of someone in the middle who actually does like Pearl personally. And we've seen her hang out with Pearl.
Yeah.
At the very least, a year or so ago before she had her baby.
Yeah. Also, I feel vindicated because we were talking about how she's just become
She'll
this
call
massive
out
mean
people
girl.
all the time if she
And
feels.
Allie just confirmed it. She's like, she used to be nice. I'm like, okay, thank you. Because I've had people be like, nah, she's always been this way. I'm like, no, I mean, kinda, but she's not this bad. This is full on Rachel McAdams and Mean Girl status. All right, get in, losers. Like, ma'am, I need you to calm down, relax.
Yeah. And there's always
And I think-
different ways to say things. You can say, you're a whore and you're a person that gets naked on the internet.
I think that the thing is too, and it started. It's got to be a year now. That 35 to 25 tweet that she
At
did
least
a year ago. That is what the catalyst. Because here's the thing: what she's trying to say is, as we get older, women lose their value. Okay, fine.
I agree with
what
that.
came out was, you are not hot or attractive at all ever in your 30s, and anybody that's 20 in their 20s is always going to be way prettier than you, even if they're average looking and borderline ugly. You will never be as beautiful as them. You in fact are the ugly one. That's what came out. What she meant was, as we women get older, we are not as, whatever.
Average wise,
came
you are
out
less
was-
likely
Yeah.
to be chosen at 35 than at 25, which I
Yeah.
agree.
But what came out was Mean Girl, ew, she's old. She's in her 30s and she's so ugly and she'll never be pretty again because I'm in my 20s and that's what came out. And so that is what happens when you Mean Girl. What's going to happen? Girls are going to react to the Mean Girl. So what happened? Girls were like, okay, Miss 5, what are you talking about? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is also an accurate statement. I also am a 5. A fellow 5 knows a fellow 5 when you see one. Okay. That would be like me at my age, 36, at my averageness, being like, I'm 36 and I will always be hotter than Cindy Crawford. What?
Cindy Crawford.
Wait, what?
but,
Ma'am.
but that's why it's like,
No.
Therapists, they're taught the way you speak to your different patients depends on their style of conversation, how they take things. And I'm just putting on the basis of a male versus female. You can go to a male and just say, you're being an a-hole. But you can't do that to a woman. Be like, huh. So how do you think this person felt about the way you said that?
Yeah.
They have to kind of go around it. And I'm not saying that is necessarily a bad thing. That is a characteristic of our gender differences. And that's okay. Because at the same time, if you want to be with a woman or you want to be with a man, guess what? You're going to have to be able to communicate. You have to learn how to communicate with your wife or your husband. And if you have to do little things like this, they're on their period, they're raging, and you have to approach a very sensitive topic. Well, good luck with you there. Because, they're crazy at that point.
That's not how you appeal to the female audience. If you're trying to reach the female audience in order for them to change, then change the laws and change this, then that's fine. Cool. But that's not how being like, oh my God, I love your skirt. That skirt is so effing ugly. What? But that's not how you do that, ma'am. All ma'ams and sirs and ma'ams. That's not how you do it, because this is not how that's not how we're wired. We're wired to get very emotional and triggered.
Yeah.
This is just what?
Yeah. I don't know. And I understand why Pearl does not give advice, because specifically she doesn't want to be having the onus for the advice. Okay. Because then people will say, you said to do that. Mm-hmm.
Fair.
I understand it.
But I also have never seen her personally. I've never seen her come up with any ideas at all whatsoever. And she's been asked, I don't know how many times we've watched clips, and not just her. Like there's several people in that community that don't have the Myron in them don't either, except to build yourself up and sleep with as many women as possible, which is a very feminist idea, by the way. Then focus only on you and blah 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 blah. That's very feminist.
You know what's funny? So I watched Fat versus Fit, the middle ground on Jubilee, and Myron was on it. And there were times, of course, Myron YouTuber came out, but at the same time, there was still moments where it seemed like a very normal conversation with him. So it was actually very interesting to see.
Interesting.
Like
He's
a
a very
different type of conversation, because I do think that, like, sure, maybe it is brought on for entertainment value. Sure, maybe he thinks that. I don't know. I don't know him, so I can't comment on that. But it was interesting to see him not super hyped about all things. So I saw him more. I don't even want to say even keeled. I saw him. I saw a different side that I don't normally see on his Fresh and Fit show.
Interesting.
I'm not saying it's all perfect, okay?
It's all, well, I mean, that's where the grift comes in, right? You put on a fake persona and you act a certain way, and that's what gets the attention. And that's,
yeah. So, should we do that? Because I think if we did that, like, we would have a more popular show.
maybe we should just not wear clothes.
Don't say that. I'm scared. I'm actually legitimately scared. We have a couple more super chats here. Nightmare for Two says corn usage is a symptom, not a cause. Absolutely. By the way, I'm watching Jersey Shore, and I'm at the point where the situation, Cornhole the game. Have you heard of it?
Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah. He plays cornhole, and he gets invited on like an ESPN championship show.
Oh, I was like,
and
yeah,
he's like, I am the #1 cornhole star. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm thinking YouTube terms. And I'm like, oh God, y'all don't even know. #1 at cornhole. Anyways, I digress. Darian for $9.99. I'm anti-corn, but Pearl's question is important. And I noticed no one answered it. Not Tim, also not Pearl. Not Candace, also not Pearl. No one. Pearl's question reveals that there are not enough marriageable women. That's her point. I don't know. She doesn't give advice either, so that's how I'm looking at this. What can people do besides go to corn?
I just still don't think that you need to be turning to that. That's just me. There's other ways to do it.
Guys, at the age of 34, I found out what the intro to Cornhub was. I know I'm a female. I'm not a male, okay?
Or whatever that is.
I didn't understand that. Adam Krigler played it, and I go, I don't understand what's happening. Is this a joke? The guys are laughing. I'm like, what?
And Adam's like, huh?
It's
That's
like,
good.
So I have news for you.
Yeah.
So it's a joke. Anyways, but I do think, yes, good question. But at the same time, I don't care what you do in the personal home. Okay. You can beat off to corn. You can have a doll, fleshlights, all of it. I don't care. But just don't hurt other women. No. I mean, if you can have a normal relationship, all the power to you. So I know Tugs has a different viewpoint than I do, at least on corn. So
I don't think that anybody should be watching it, period. But that's just me. I know that that's an impossible thing to do. But.
Yeah, you do it. And I mean, like, that's the thing is, like, these services are available. Dolls, fleshlights, corn, AI girlfriends, all of this. Cam girls, all this. Can you make
cam girls are the same thing as pornography, so.
Okay, I guess so. But it's like, I'm thinking about the interactiveness, maybe. Because doesn't a cam girl talk to you specifically? And this is just because I watched that Boys episode recently where the the ex-girlfriend of Soldier Boy was like a hero cam girl.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, there's the interactiveness. I don't know. Maybe that's like more of a more stimulating. I don't know. Never been put in that position or wanted to be in that position.
I don't know what the solution would be. My only thing would be don't resort to it because it's proven addictive, it's proven detrimental, it's proven all of these things. So just don't resort to that. That would be my
And how I look at it is
would be my
if just like Hollywood, you put your money where your mouth is, and as long as the money is there, there's an industry. That's my advice. If you don't agree with it, put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
It's as easy as that.
I agree. Sick Lad is so true. The availability of these services really speak to how dystopian we've become. Yeah.
We'll get to you, Crash Mondo. Something that
She's
this
like,
was
get off.
Of a thought, but people keep saying this. The oldest profession that's out there is being like a prostitute.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do they say that specifically for women, or is this just in general? Okay, for women, but wasn't a profession of being a mother before that? And this is just me thinking like a debate in my own head. I'm not trying to doubt that.
No, I guess it depends on if you define mother. I guess now modern times we do.
Stay at home mom.
My job is stay at home mom, but I don't know that I personally consider a profession. I understand the terminology, but a profession is something you get paid for. Technically, I think by definition. So.
No, but we don't count being a stay-at-home mom as a profession now, or do we? I don't know. Anyways, it's just an ethical debate.
I think the majority do.
I don't mean it as like I'm doubting it. It just was something I thought in my head.
Yeah. I mean, prostitutes have been around because we as women understand that we have control over sex. So
yeah. And I mean, like I'm thinking hunter.
Yeah, and I can get
hunter-gatherer days, like me gathering berries or farming or whatever, cutting out the innards of like my husband's kill. Like, is that not considered a profession? I don't know. Anyways, I'm just putting a thought-provoking idea out there. But
about the bunny ranch.
What? I don't know what a bunny ranch is. What the heck is that?
It's a brothel in Pahrump, Nevada, which is about an hour outside of Vegas. It's the only place close to Vegas. Fun fact, prostitution is legal.
Okay, yeah,
People think it's legal in Vegas.
Ranch.
It's not.
Nope,
it's not. Gosh, the bunny ranch has got to be 80 years old now. Like the ranch itself, it's been around for a while.
Yeah. Anyways, because I do know, like, being part of a community, it is a group effort. And so if you as a woman or man goes out to hunt, blah, 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 but the woman tends to the home and does stuff that upkeeps the home, do we not count that as a profession? Even though you're not paid with money, you're paid with food, shelter, safety, like these little things. I don't know. Anyways, I might be crazy. Crash member for 19 months says, hail to X-ray. Cheers to you, Crash. Andrew Matthews for 5 British pounds. Pearl is a grifter. How sprinkles
I think
who
it's
sprinkles in some truth with a grift. She also uses extreme when called on it. She changes the point. I did notice that it was a kind of the point of the question was never really answered by her, at least on Tim Pool. A lot of the times, and like she would, her point was always like, oh God, what was the point that she was making? She expressed it at least like 4 or 5 times. It's like, yes, no, I know, Pearl, you're trying to express this, that women bad, men good.
Yeah. I don't remember what she said though.
But she did say that a few times. My point is blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But that might not be expressing the answer at the moment. Anyways, Smooth the DJ is gifted 10
Ooh, thank you, Smooth.
poor choices memberships. I need a wine pouring sound because I was going to do the air horn, but it's not as cute. I hope you're awake now.
I'm awake now.
Darian for 999. She's not saying that people shouldn't people should have used corn. She's saying that she's saying if that's women don't get. Why am I struggling with this? Can you read this?
I think what it's supposed to say, or what he meaning is she's saying that women don't get married until it's women that don't get married until 30. Feminism tells women to do that, which is true. Result: some men turn to corn. Awful, but it starts with feminism. Very all true.
Oh, wait, that was another thing that I thought was kind of funny because, like, I love the way Tim Pool kind of like deflected. Was like, we should just say that women are the root of all the problems. Woman gave birth to Hitler. Obviously, it's the woman's fault.
Oh yeah, it's the woman's. Oh, on the debate.
Yeah, no, I thought it was funny how Tim turned it around because I do see her point and I do see Lauren's point, and it was just the way Tim turned that around. I was like, oh no, Tim.
Evil. Women are evil. Oh yeah, it's the woman's fault.
A woman gave birth to Trump, so it's all their fault.
All the woman's fault. How dare she?
But it's and the idea that, at least going back to Tim Pool's show, that Pearl was giving a lot of flack to women in general, like single moms, and it's their fault. But at the same time, she was saying people have autonomy, and I'm using my own personal words at this, so I'm paraphrasing. So it is also their choice to do these certain things as well. So in the end, I'm questioning this, as she does usually. Whose fault is it anyway? Is it nurture, single motherhood, or is it your own personal autonomy? We could say Jeffrey Dahmer. Is it his mom or him?
Hmm.
But I'm giving an extreme example, okay? Obviously. But it's these types of thought-provoking questions. Okay, yeah, I'm sure a little bit of nurture does affect that. I don't doubt that. But at the same time, in the end, who is at fault for these things? Who makes those choices in the end? Who's at fault the most? I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know either. There's just so much. I think it's parenting's fault in general, but if you have a parent, well, two parents, which of course that goes back to their parents being their fault, if the parents aren't involved at all or whatever, then you're being raised by nature, which doesn't help you depending on where you're at. Which of course then goes back to the parents.
And then I put this point on, like, you know how the whole Black Lives Matter, most of the people who are forefronting Black Lives Matter are not of the age group that were affected by the slavery that occurred for Black Lives Matter to occur. If you're understanding me. So at that point, do we blame the people who have forefronted Black Lives Matter, or do we blame the people who are affected by the motion of the movement Black Lives Matter?
Yeah.
And these are just nuanced questions. I'm not actually trying to say oh my God, is this person's fault? Is this person's fault? I think in the end, sure, bad parenting really does take into effect. But at the same time, if I decide to go drink and drive behind the wheel because I'm a single child of a single mom because she raised me crappily, who decided to put yourself behind the wheel? Am I going to go and be like, arrest my mother? It's her fault? Because I crashed into a store or hurt other people? And that's why I'm trying to, this is just good debate questions that we should put into these topics. Yeah, your mom doesn't get charged. I know, Eddie. I'm
That's
I'm
true.
just putting it forward. Like it's just a thought-provoking question. It's not meant to be super serious.
Fealty.
Wow. Okay, you're very right about this. I mean, technically you're drinking and driving least an accent, but you're Asian, not woman. Or I mean, and a woman, just saying.
No.
Okay, no one understood me. Great.
I understood you.
Thank you.
That's
No.
it's the whole maybe the chat will understand this. It's the whole are video games the cause for violence?
Yes. Yes. And it's these type of nuanced conversations that I want to have. And I feel like it's almost like, I feel like people get so upset about having this. And I don't think I'm necessarily trying to find an answer. I'm just trying to find you guys to think about all things globally versus very, very minutely in this situation.
If you're not checking what your kids are doing, oh my gosh, you can tell CJ is from the generation where the TV was on at night. It's 10 p.m. Do you know what your kids are doing?
Okay, thank you, Grabther. I appreciate you for saying this.
There you
I
go. How
currently
much does
couldn't-
bad parenting mitigate culpability? There it is.
My like 2-minute rant down to one sentence. Do you want to be a YouTuber, Grabther? I think you might be better than me.
Grabthar needs an extra girl translator.
I met Grabther in Wisconsin. He was lovely. He was very lovely.
Miss Kim.
That was when I found out, because I went to Ireland and the man of God that I was talking to was having a drink for New Year's, and then not every person that's a man of God needs to not drink.
Mm.
Yeah, they can have a drink every now and then. So, yeah. Jason Webster for 10 Australian says, I'm drawn to and intrigued by women with genuine personalities like X-Ray and Tugs. Intelligent, sensitive, relaxed, open, honest, charismatic, and very conversational. I might be drunk. That might help.
That would explain the rant.
Yeah.
You drunk off a White Claw?
Wait, you have a large bar in your living room? Ah! I've always
coming
wanted
over.
like a cute little bar area. So
We're coming
if you have
over.
pictures, can you post a picture in like my Discord? I just selfishly want to see it. So Crash Mondo for 10 says, these assessments regarding corn and men are so off. The vast majority of men that use corn started as a child or teen. Women didn't drive them there. It's just sort of old, reliable thing for them.
That's fair.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a man.
Very fair.
Men
Oh,
in
wait.
chat.
We've
True.
come full circle
False.
again. So then that is your parents' fault.
Hey, okay.
Bad parenting. You weren't watching your kid or child or teenager and didn't discuss the dangers of the pornography with them, and then they turned to pornography, and here we are. It's a big cycle.
Having kids are so difficult.
Listen, the moment you step out alone, I'm just kidding.
You don't want to see X-Ray Mama version. My best friend said that I was the nicest person ever. For the most part, whatever, prickly parts, monthly. But the day that my dog escaped and ran onto a busy road, she said that I was like a Viet woman gone crazy because I was afraid she was going to die. But
yeah,
I mean, to be fair, it was a busy road. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, come back here, Harley. Yeah. She lived, of course. She lived. So I'm happy that it worked. She didn't die. She didn't die. She passed, like she lived, I think another, at that point of the incident, another 5 years. Like this was before I met Mark. So yeah, I'm very happy that she didn't die. Yeah, we love her. She's the ugliest dog ever, as the internet has said, but she's so adorable to me.
There's uglier out there.
Oh, I know. The ugliest dog contest. Oh. Yeah. Nightmare says, for $2, we blame the globalist pushing all this crap. Globalist.
Okay.
Mhm. And Smooth the DJ has gifted another 5 memberships on top of the 10 that he already gave. Thank you so much, Smooth.
Thank you, Smoo.
We have so many
Gosh.
new members today.
No kidding. I hope you all stay.
Mm-hmm. And Darian for another 10 says, Pearl was saying, yes, people who commit crime are responsible and they go to jail. But when you know that most of the criminals come from single mother homes, it would be stupid not to study this. And this is something that, okay, by the way,
Absolutely.
she is very contradictory in this. She has interviewed 1,000 people at least, dudes that have been through the court system and knows the plights that they go through. I'm not discounting that, but at the same time, she did discount the stats when she did say that. But at the same time, the stats. So what is it, Pearl? I'm just trying to strengthen her argument. And this is something that she needs to think about with the words that she specifically says, because it contradicts exactly what she said.
Yeah.
Within the same debate, by the way. And as a person who actually studied science, say she did interview 1,000 people. I'm not trying to discount that or not. Those type of studies don't give a global view. It's a biased view of these certain people's experiences. What I want is an actual study that shows the population, and maybe it could be just like a multiple choice, and you can vote from between 1 to 10 on how you feel on all these certain questions, and then to get a better idea of how these men or women feel post-divorce, whatever she wants to put in these studies, but to get a global view of that. She doesn't get that from interviewing just men.
Yeah.
So that's just my thoughts. I'm not discounting it. I'm just saying I want a less biased view when it comes to that. I want her to interview more feminine. No, never mind. I don't want her to actually interview more feminists. We've seen it on her own channel.
It is true though. The single mother homes is, I mean, that's an actual, I don't know the number.
In which part are you talking about?
What Darian's talking about here. Most of the criminals come from single mother homes. That's
I do think that not having 2 parents around really is super detrimental to any family. Like, even though my parents might not have agreed on every single little thing possible, the main view was, we got to make sure our kids grow up right, our kids get jobs that are self-sustaining, and that they're ready for society.
Yeah.
And I think they did their job.
Yeah.
They didn't end up staying together, which sucks, but at the same time, I think they're happier apart. They did what they wanted. So I'm happy for it. And I still love my parents, both of them. Yeah. And Darian, a show about where she has a panel interview is not the same thing as a one-on-one interview. I'll give her that she has had the pregame, but she does need to have a one-on-one, more nuanced conversation to understand said views. But she is very biased when it comes to this. So maybe she needs to hire out someone who is unbiased and has the set of questions that she wants to ask. Maybe. I'm just trying to think it on a scientific view. Yeah, I would rather kids grow up in a 2-parent home, regardless. So, yeah. Tugs, is there anything else you want to kind of add into all of this?
I think so. I think we hit all the points. Yeah.
This is not as bad as some of the other conversations we've had, to be honest.
Bad.
You were nervous.
Oh, I was. I thought for sure we were going to get people in here just losing their minds. But I think we were.
To be fair, we did try to keep it even keeled.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Baby is right. Pre-game had a very biased view.
That's very true. There was a lot of yes.
That.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm not saying
Which
it,
is
but that.
interesting because you could run the studies on that and whatever. But she had a very, very heavily African American presence on her shows, which is fine. But that's a whole that's just a percentage of these stats. So that makes me wonder, the divorce documentary that she did, was she also only interviewing African American men, or was it everybody? Do you know what I mean? It was kind of it was very rare that she had, yeah.
Like, is she interviewing Asians are always forgotten. I'm sorry when it comes to this type of stuff. I don't recall, at least on pregame, a significant amount of Asians on there. I mean, I'm sure there's one or two, but nothing strikes me at this point. And correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I didn't watch every pregame.
So long, I don't know.
Okay, technically, Darian, you're true. Not African American, African British. Can we call it that? I don't know. Were there any Asians on her show? I'm just naturally.
I honestly have no idea. No clue.
It's
been so long since I've watched one of her live streams front to back.
Well, they don't exist anymore, so. Or at least 5 months ago, it doesn't exist anymore, so. Oh, yeah, that's why BBC Pigeon exists. British. Yeah, I don't recall many Asians either.
Do many Asians live in the UK, though, in London? I don't think so.
Sure. That's the thing is, regardless of where you are, major cities do have a metropolitan of different backgrounds, because if you work in the Wall Street version of most of these places, you're going to have some overlap that goes with other countries, especially if you are dealing with banking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, also, though, Asians are more traditional culture anyway, so not what she needs for her pre-game streams.
No, have you seen whatever podcast actually gets quite a few Asians on there, because Santa Barbara does have a lot of Asians at the school, and you can definitely see the Western views in them, and especially when they're super rich too. Whew. That's all I gotta say. So, anyways.
Oh my gosh, that's it?
What?
I feel like this number is low, but I could be wrong. With approximately 1.6 million people in London are Asian. I feel like that number is low.
If they're like me, they keep quiet. They probably don't want to be on her show, and vice versa.
When the entire population of London in 2019, I don't have any updated information, is 8.98 million people. So way more than that, obviously, now, probably.
An eighth of the population-ish.
Interesting. Wow.
Either way, thank you guys for being here. This was a fun show, even though I wasn't sure how this was going to turn, to be honest.
It turned out well.
Yeah. Like I said, I do want to keep things even keeled. I don't want to be biased towards anyone in that sense. And I want to come at this in a very approachable manner for both sides. And I want to think we did that.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anybody coming in here hating, so I guess we'll see the comments.
There was someone at the beginning who was like, they're gonna trash on Pearl the entire time. I don't think we did.
We definitely didn't worship Lauren Chen like you said we were going to.
No, I honestly, there was a lot of stuff that did happen in the episode, but my mind was mostly on the Chrissy or Chrissy drama over Lauren.
Yeah.
Thank you, Grabther. I can't wait to see it. I won't show it, just in case. But Tugs, what would you like to promo?
I don't have anything. Well, I do, but I'm gonna read this first because I think this is hilarious. McFly, it's y'all show and all, but I would be perfectly happy not ever having to hear about Pearl ever again. Listen, I know we've talked about her entirely too much tonight, but listen, I would like that to happen as well. But she's gonna say something ridiculous, and so we're gonna be like, why?
She is cashing in those Twitter checks, okay?
And we're cashing in on her mean girl status. It's all right.
No disrespect. I think she is doing her thing. And if she's happy with it and she can sleep at night, that's all that matters. And us being in a public space, she is welcome to react to our videos. I don't give a crap.
Oh, now you just gave her permission. Oh, heck. Oh, well.
If she finds us.
There. Okay.
But,
anything.
yeah.
I've lost my train of thought. Oh, tomorrow's stream. Yeah, tomorrow's stream. Friday night, we're doing Fortnite Fridays. Everybody's welcome to come join. Switch yourselves out. Make sure your games are updated. 5 p.m. Central on Friday, Fortnite. I am doing a crowdfunding thing for a new computer. You guys know the running joke about my computer. All right. It's fine. We're finally taking the leap. It's on my throne. I'll get the link for you right now. If you're interested and can donate, I appreciate you. If not, that's totally fine. I get it. There we go. Let me post it here.
Your bar is so freaking cute, Grabther. It's like a proper L-shaped bar. Adorbs.
Is it? Is it on the Twitter? I'm gonna look.
Yeah, it was a reply to our post of we're going live now. For those that do want to see it.
Cool. I'll look when we're done. But yeah, so I'm crowdfunding a PC. Yeah, Holocron says, you mean a stuttering joke? We wish it would be running. Yeah, exactly. It's a stuttering joke. We all know a tug stream is not a tug stream without technical difficulties. So anyway, if you'd like to check that out, I appreciate it. And then Fortnite Friday tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're playing yet, but
Hi, Steph. Steph says Pearl's not a mean girl. She's just an old-fashioned idiote.
Steph just comes in here like 3 hours in. It's just like
mic drop.
Bye. I love it.
I wasn't expecting that. That was perfect. Thank you. It was a good laugh.
And then tips. Here for it. I did get the aspect ratio fixed. Yeah, and I got more RAM. Yes, I don't know what I'm doing. So Jonathan and a bunch of other people helped me in my Discord chats setting this up for the crowdfunding, and I appreciate you. So if you'd like to check that out, I would appreciate it.
Do it.
Share the link as well. That would be helpful too. So yeah.
Guilty. I am Italian. It's all the sausage. Anywho.
Oh my.
Oh God. You can find me everywhere. Tomorrow I probably will be playing Ghost of Tsushima in the morning after morning roast, I think. But we are going to have some good stuff with morning roast, 8:30 a.m. Eastern with Mr. Porkchop, Ghost of Tsushima afterwards. And then I do have D&D on Geeks and Gamers tabletop at 1 p.m. So lots of stuff. Lots of good stuff. I'm so sorry. I feel bad saying that now because Grabther is like... I shouldn't say that around a priest, but I'm not religious, so I don't feel as bad, but I do feel a little bad. A little bad.
5 Hail Marys for you.
What do I do for a Hail Mary?
Hail Mary, Mother full of grace. That's a Catholic thing. I don't know the whole prayer.
Hail Mary, full of mother and grace?
Yeah, it's a prayer to Mary, which is Jesus' mom.
Well, that's a whole nother debate. I will do that for you if I've,
You'd use the rosary. Odin is a better person to ask for this. I don't know the whole thing.
I have.
Well, if Odin goes to Dallas, we'll get you a rosary. He makes.
You guys don't want to see me in confession. There's a lot of confessions in there that, it's like racking up decades worth of things to say to absolve me of my sins.
Yeah, I don't see you. I'm not Catholic. I don't know. Oh, there it is. Holocron's got it. There you go. All I know is Hail Mary, Mother full of grace. Oh, I got for you.
A very long Hail Mary. Okay, you said 5 of them.
with the 5 of them. You have to, and then you rub the beads. If I remember right, Odin will know for sure. But you take the beads on the rosary and you rub them, and every time you say one, and each one has a different meaning.
Wow. Grabther says confession when you come to Wisconsin for meetup. I'll take it to the grave. Hey, Grabther, if you want to know some YouTuber secrets, I'm gonna like gush them all to you. Mostly about myself, but you know. Anyways, this was a fun show. We got I feel like we did good.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Check and tell us. Let us know in the
Listen,
comments.
we're gonna find out in our comment section tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, here, I didn't know this. Every bead is a prayer, and you have to do the whole rosary. The small beads are Hail Marys, and the big ones are for
Oh, okay.
our
There we go.
fathers.
Thank you.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I had no idea.
Our
There's
Father,
small and
who art
big
in heaven,
beads on
hallowed
a
be thy name.
rosary.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is.
What
in
about when you get to the cross? What do you have to say at the cross?
I think you kiss it in
Oh.
Catholicism. I think you.
Okay. Yeah.
Again, not sure for sure. Not Catholic. Not Catholic.
I mean, as a Buddhist, I do a mixture of bowing and praying and singing. So.
That's why you're all so flexible.
Oh, yeah. And we can do the Asian squad. I love the Asian squad. Anyways,
I wish I could do the Asian stuff.
I
All right,
hope you
anyway.
guys have a good evening. Sorry, this was a long show.
I knew it would be. I told Duke, I was like, we're going to go for like 3 hours. I know we are because this is a lot to talk about.
Very
There's a lot.
close. And we did skip a few things, okay? We did skip
Oh,
a few
well,
things.
yay. We get to do it next week.
Yes, because anything that didn't pertain to this, I did not even touch, okay?
I know. Oh, wow. I'm blurry. I know McFly will be so thrilled. Look, I moved too fast for my camera.
Yeah, we'll have less drama stuff and more conversational stuff. So, guys, thank you so much. Make sure you sub to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys next week for another Sip and Chill.
Hi, Capanova. Bye, Capanova.
Bye, everyone.